Yesterday, South Carolina hockey dropped the puck in the Music City, facing a conference title on the line this tournament and an all too familiar foe. And over the next 60 minutes, the Gamecocks proved they were ready to play as they executed in every facet of the game to knock off Florida. Tonight, they'll need everything they had yesterday and more to knock off the top dogs in this Final Four. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ford Ice Center in Antioch, Tennessee for this presentation of the 2017 SECHC Tournament. Tonight's matchup in the semifinals features the #1 seeded Georgia Bulldogs and your 5th seeded South Carolina Gamecocks. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. Brett Williams alongside Robert McCachren. Thanks so much for being with us here tonight on the Capital City Sports Network. Robert, yesterday in the quarterfinals, it was the #4 seeded Florida Gators against the 5th seeded Gamecocks. South Carolina trying to erase the demons of last year, and they did so. Overall, a very solid game and a 4-2 win for Carolina.
Great play. Something they did last year they couldn't do was neutralize the top dogs. We saw against Charlotte, they finally faced a guy like Andrew Biller who could be just like the guys like Katz and Clifford. So I believe that gave them an upper hand this time when they shut them down. Their speed was no longer a factor as a team speed. Ornerick has come in here and done a great job there with Ware pairing and just team goals. Just what you gotta love. There's no longer guys just trying to take it all one-on-one. They're out there trying to find the open teammate and find the good shot instead of just firing home. And defensively, they were talking, they were communicating, and they shut down whatever thing came at them.
South Carolina now 14-10 on the season, 4-4 SECHC. Georgia, there's no mistaking with this team. This team is solid. They are 21-2 on the year, a perfect 10-0 in conference play. The #1 seed in this tournament, they are #3 overall in the South region. And this team just has so many weapons, particularly offensively and in net with Andrew Bray.
Yeah, Andrew Bray's been great for them. The only one loss. Yeah, I believe his save percentage is over 90, just stopping everything. And when you have a prolific offense like they do, just having a goalkeeper also there behind you to shut everything down as well. I mean, you can score maybe 1 or 2 goals and Bray's going to get you the win anyway, but this team continues, we saw several times scoring, double-digit goals. I mean, 14-point goal game, a 21-goal game. These guys can score and they can score fast.
Yeah, and looking at the matchups of these two teams, South Carolina 0-2 against Georgia this year, again with that undefeated conference play for the Bulldogs, but both close games, 5-3 in Athens, 5-2 at the Plex in Irmo back in November. Both of those came before South Carolina got on this recent hot streak. Both teams actually riding 8-game winning streaks coming in tonight.
Yeah, both these teams sort of play similar type of games. They're aggressive on the forecheck. Defensively, I believe South Carolina has Georgia outbeat by a slight margin on the physicality side of things. They play similarly defensively. Offensively, though, there's a little bit of a difference. South Carolina is a little more overall balanced. They rely on their forwards as well as their defensemen. I mean, Kyle Ware is the leading goal scorer, or Rennick has been out there playing really well as his new pairing with him. Slicko has gotten some solid passing and got good slap shots on net. Cochran's been out there in the first line of the power play, so obviously Sir Wall believes in him offensively as well. In Georgia, they rely on their forwards. I mean, like you said, there's some top-line players out there. The MVP just recently announced Bray as well. I mean, they rely on the forwards, and when we saw the game yesterday and also the Plex, the defensemen really weren't involved offensively as the way South Carolina is. So that could be the key for the Gamecocks, those defensemen getting involved. And also the team overall speed for the Gamecocks has increased well, so the speed matchup I think is pretty much so even between both teams.
Yeah, that MVP you mentioned, Ryan Bray, who is actually not related to the goalie Andrew Bray. There's also Stephen Bray on this team. He is brothers with Ryan. Andrew is a different Bray, but all the Brays very good. So it should be very interesting to see tonight if the Gamecocks can neutralize them. We are ready to get going here right after this short break. The puck here at the Ford Ice Center in the semifinals, Georgia and South Carolina in the SECHC Tournament. See you right back after this on the Capital City Sports Network. And we are underway here. Thanks for being with us here tonight. Brett Williams, Robert McCachren from Antioch, Tennessee in the Ford Ice Center. Gamecocks and Georgia Ice Dogs in the semifinals. An early stoppage of play here, just 9 seconds into the game. Again, South Carolina 14-10, 4-4 in conference. Georgia comes in 21-2 and 10-0 in the SEC. The undisputed top dogs and reigning champions. They won this tournament a year ago. South Carolina controlling in a defensive zone here early. Gamecocks once again in the black sweaters, moving right to left on your screen. Georgia in the home whites, going from left to right. One here behind as Georgia looks to bring out. Taken on the far side, Jacob Tengy for the Gamecocks, then won by Georgia, and right back to the Gamecocks. Drifting in, quick, almost attempt by Ian Schneider, kind of a dribbler, and Andrew Bray kicked it out with his right pad on the near boards, and they go all the way back into the defensive zone. This will be icing against Georgia.
Yeah, they're good attempt there. We saw one of the things I looked for when I was watching the game yesterday against Auburn when Georgia played them was a sort of dart across the line. You can sort of split the Georgia defenders, and right there we saw the Gamecocks do that very quickly with Snyder getting in there. Georgia is able to recover, but that's going to be the big issue. See if Georgia can capitalize or sort of make adjustments to that and see if Gamecocks can actually take advantage of that. So early things like I saw yesterday, a weakness in this Georgia Bulldogs team, and if you're the Gamecocks, as good as their offensive attack is, you need to take advantage of those opportunities.
Now South Carolina, as we're talking about, matches up fairly well with Georgia in this very similar styles of play. Again, the Gamecocks, those two losses came before their recent hot streak, and a lot of chemistry, some new players out there in Van Duzen and Orenick for the Gamecocks, something the Ice Dogs have not seen. That said, pretty much any team that's faced Georgia will tell you they're not like any other teams you face either. Hustling it forward here, Perry Holcomb, quick shot. Bobby Lombardi kicks it off with his right pad over to the corner. On taken behind here, this is Ryan Bray with it, the SECHC MVP named this morning. Host of awards here. Coming up top, quick shot in. It got deflected off of several Gamecock defenders and sends out back to center. Picked up by Holcomb, tried to dump it in, missed the glove of Devin Ergo. Now drifting in, a quick shot comes high off the stick of Stephen Bray as this one into the far corner, then cleared to center. It's Ryan Bray. On across, then dumped in right toward Lombardi. He'll just stop it with his stick and then leave it on for Sean Davis as both teams change lines. Davis sends it up the boards, dumps in. Hustling after it for the Gamecocks is Bobby Van Duzen, but picking up instead for Georgia is Aaron Phillips. And icing called against Carolina.
Yeah, interesting to see here. One of the things we talked about South Carolina, when they do their line changes, they'll usually keep one forward there to pressure the puck and not allow Georgia to come out. Georgia this time did not do that, and South Carolina was almost able to break out and get it in their zone. Unfortunately, there was just right before the red line that the Gamecock player touched it. But just those little things, when these two teams here on 8-game winning streaks, those little things can help you win or lose a game.
Aaron Phillips tried to dump it in. It was blocked off of one Gamecock stick and sent to center. Now on a cross, taken right back by Georgia. It's Christopher Santamaria. Santamaria drifts in. Blocker save there by Lombardi as he punched into the air and up to the blue line. Gamecocks bounce it off of one Ice Dog, now hustling forward. This is Alex Kranis getting to it. Quick shot. Bray knocks it up in the air. It's still loose and it's gloved down at the last moment by Santamaria. He plays it up to his brother Caleb Santamaria. Yes, tons of brother acts here on Georgia's roster. Loose in front. Tried to grab by Christopher, but he didn't, takes it back out. Up, and eventually a bad pass will force Georgia to clear the zone, dumping back in and ceding possession as they change lines. Taking on back behind here. Now the Gamecocks bounce it up towards center. It's stolen on across. Taken here, this is Eric Moggy. Drifting it forward, bounces off several players, goes right to Bobby Lombardi in the crease. He will hold it.
Yeah, Lombardi getting lots of early action here. Just a couple of good saves there, good glove. We know how fast and quick his glove is, and Gamecock defense doing everything they can as well. We've seen a couple of poke checks there, guys keeping their sticks on the ice and just blocking shots, and that's one of the big things the Gamecocks love to do, is sort of try to stop any of those pucks they can before it actually gets to Lombardi.
Face-off eventually won by Georgia here, drifting from behind the red line. Now put on up Moggy with a quick backhand. It gets blocked by Lombardi, now coming back out. Taken here as Carolina moves it across center. Sean Davis got stopped and turned aside there by Cam Gilmore. Bounces all the way back toward Andrew Bray, but it's picked up by defenseman Carter Penzine. On towards center, taken by Kyle Ware, lost for a moment as the Gamecocks go back into their defensive zone. 3 minutes gone here, no score between Georgia and South Carolina in the SECHC Tournament semifinals. Winner of this game will face the Ole Miss Rebels, who pulled the upset of Vanderbilt in the other semifinal by a final score of 3-1. That game will be tomorrow at 3:15 Central, 4:15 Eastern. The loser will face Vanderbilt in the consolation game, 11 a.m. Central and noon back on the East Coast. Georgia in the defensive zone, plays it on up, down the dasher. It bounces off of one player in the neutral zone, says the far referee, and so therefore no icing here. Gamecocks back into the neutral zone. Ian Schneider settles it down, plays it up, bounces off the stick of Ryan Bray, bouncing off of several players now. Georgia will control. First it's Dan Fendius, and now sent on up Ryan Bray. Pass goes a little bit too far. Matt Orenek comes down. This will be icing, in fact, against Georgia.
Yeah, early both teams sort of feeling each other out. It's sort of a different feel to this game than the first game. The first couple of games we saw, both these teams, like I said, riding a high. South Carolina, a completely new team, a couple of new players in Orenek and Van Dusen, to those two guys that sort of added some more speed to this Gamecock team. So a little bit of a different team that each of these teams are facing, so they're sort of trying to feel each other out right now. There's no big opportunities that really come through for either team.
Yeah, you mentioned that speed, and honestly, the Gamecocks have shown a whole new dimension of it against some of the teams that would normally have had their number. Florida, UNC Charlotte, a number of those teams that have seen the new look Gamecocks, and it has not worked out for those opponents. Georgia, meanwhile, trying to drift in, trying to dump. They have a couple of players in front, and taken by Ryan Bray here. He's looking toward Perry Holcomb, now plays it on toward the center. This is Stephen Bray. Stephen Bray rotating back toward the blue line, plays it on down. Didn't have anybody there, but it went all the way back around to Dan Fendius. On a cross, quick shot comes in. Lombardi, it's still loose in front. Stephen Bray on the backhand, tried to elevate it, hit the top of the cage. Hit the back boards now. Big check by Van Dusen. He gets lit up on the backside of that. Georgia corrals, quick shot comes in. Bobby Lombardi flashes the leather and makes the save on Fendius.
Yeah, Lombardi out there being tested early and often by this dangerous Georgia team. Seen multiple players with goals and several points as well. We got Bray with 49 points, Christopher Santamaria with 44, his brother Caleb Santamaria with 36. So all across the board, several top goal scorers and good players out there for Georgia. And Lombardi, though, standing tall right now and stopping several shots against these Bulldogs.
Face-off will come to Lombardi's right side here. 15:40 to go here in the first period. No score. It's won by Georgia here, but lost immediately as Alec Martone gets it on the far boards and plays it on a cross. Taken here, this is Ian Schneider for the Gamecocks, and he comes in just a little bit too soon. Does Martone on the far side, offside is called.
So far in this game, Georgia's had most of the puck possession and had it in their own offensive zone. Schneider just couldn't stay on sides there for the Gamecocks. Right now, if you're the Gamecocks, we talked to Coach Serwa. I talked to him earlier, and also Vic, the team president. They said that they needed to come out fast, like they said yesterday, but also just need to come out strong as well. Playing against this big-time Georgia team has several goal scorers. They said they're ready, and they're looking at taking one game at a time and know that if they're going to get any farther, they need to get past the Georgia Bulldogs first.
Vic Smith's been telling us all season long it's all about a spark as Lombardi holds this one. It's all about a spark for the Gamecocks. If they hit it early, it usually bodes well for them. He said they had great energy yesterday. They hit that spark. They won that game. Evidently, the energy so far so good already.
Yeah, you've seen all those games they've strung together in a row that they've won, and also coming in with this Florida game. So the spark, they've certainly hit that spark. What's good for them is they've been able to maintain that spark. Because if you have a spark for just one period, you know, you could still lose that game in those other two, but they've maintained it for the whole entire game, which is huge, and a massive check there by the Gamecocks. We know that's what they love to do, that physical style play. Another hit by Kyle Ware.
Here comes Carolina now sending it on toward the goalie, Andrew Bray, who then holds it. A bit of a late check by, let's see who that was. That was Nick Pizzo. I thought that was Brian Soar for a minute. Pizzo evidently growing his hair out a bit more. Nonetheless, a hard check there, and like you said, Robert, I mean, that's how you beat a team like this, is enforcing your will. South Carolina is very good at that.
And we've seen that work all season for them coming on when they've had this winning streak. They go out there just physically pounding other teams, and it doesn't really necessarily affect you at the first period, maybe in the second, but that third period, those hits start to wear on and more, and the fatigue definitely becomes a factor.
Moving quickly here forward, Lucas Warner tries to play it inside, a little bit of a bouncing puck there as it goes behind the net. Picked up by picked up by Georgia in front, little spin move, quick turnaround shot by Warner, no, poke checking underneath Lombardi. Where is it? It ends up underneath the Gamecock goaltender and no further. Good look for Georgia as a bounce went their way in front.
It definitely did. The couple of Gamecock defenders was a little miscommunication there, and the puck was just sitting around there right next to Lombardi, something you can't have, especially with this Georgia team. And Georgia almost capitalized with Lombardi once again doing what he's done all season long, and what we saw yesterday in that Florida game, just almost stymieing any kind of attack these teams have had against the Gamecocks.
Bobby Lombardi normally very good with rebound control. That time ended up loose, and Georgia was better with the sticks. This is a team you have to play very fundamental hockey in order to beat, as Georgia they excel at it. Jeffrey Kostrebski wins it on behind. Gamecocks are able to clear the zone, but not much further. It's taken here by DJ here, and sends it on back along. Playing it on down, picking up here by Cam Gilmore. Georgia still trying to get this one out. It eventually will get out. Taking it here, this is Lucas Warner, who comes in. Quick shot. It's blocked aside to the right by Lombardi. Picked up on the other side here by Eric Moggy. Now dumped on along on behind the red line. South Carolina will get it, send it all the way across. They will send all the way down. Did that hit anyone? I believe it did not. So icing is called.
Yeah, Brett, one of the things we saw right there at the end of the ice before Georgia made their attack was Boris laying out one of the Georgia defenders, and once they're continuing to just, they're not really, they know that they can't really get, they're not really getting that much offensive flow right now, and Georgia's dominating that. So what they do know they can control is the physicality, and they're certainly ramping it up. We've seen major checks already here in the first 6 to 7 minutes of this game.
South Carolina eventually gets control of this face-off and tries to play it towards center. Huge check there as Georgia returned the favor. Perry Holcomb drove a Gamecock almost into the penalty box. Not for any penalty, just for the sake of a check. Bobby Lombardi plays it on to Nick Nardslicko, runs into some trouble. Georgia trying to pick his pocket on the backside and continue to fight for the puck. Let's see who comes up with this. Ryan D'Amato providing the pressure for the Ice Dogs. Won here for a moment by Alex Carey, who then is driven into the boards. Carey wins it, plays it on towards center. Moggy is hit up in front by Alec Martone. Huge open ice check by Martone, and the Gamecocks clear it out. Ian Schneider going after it. So too for Georgia, Drew Holcomb. Holcomb hit hard there, going on quickly there was Bobby Van Dusen providing that check. Now moving the other way, here comes Georgia. This is Stephen Bray, who loses it, and it comes right back to center. Gamecocks trying to counter. They do not have numbers, however. Stephen Bray lost it right to Ian Schneider, plays it up, kicked off, and taken once again by Moggy. Drifting forward on a cross, quick shot, no. Is turned aside as Ian Schneider plays it off the Gamecocks bench, and they move forward. Alec Martone over across center. He is hit hard once again by Georgia. Now the Ice Dogs really trying to hit the Gamecocks right on back. Should be a very physical game that's developing just like that. Another attempted check by Sutton. Didn't quite get as much of Ryan Bray as he wanted to. Moving forward with it here. This is Dan Fendius, who tries to send it towards center. Ryan Bray will pick it up for Georgia. Play it on quick to Lombardi, who protects the near post, and he will hold. Before the game, our Emma Mondo is down on the sideline. She had an opportunity to speak with head coach Alan Sirois about what he was looking at in the locker room and how he thought the Gamecocks would match up with Georgia. And it's time to find out what he said to Emma. We have that interview for you here.
Coach, obviously yesterday it was a close game between us and Florida, but yesterday the Bulldogs were able to blow out Auburn. What can that tell us for the game today?
I think both teams are they're a little better than we are altogether, but really it comes down to one game. I think if we play our game, we got a good chance to win.
Okay, another question. Both teams right now are on 8-game winning streaks. What does that mean for today?
It's just confidence. Both teams are very confident right now at the top of their playing as best as they played all year. So it's going to be very, very challenging for us. But I think, like I said, if we play our game, this could be ours.
All right, thank you, Coach. All right, back to you guys out there.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for that interview from Emma. And let's see, was there was a penalty called here. And it looks like that's going to go against Kyle Ware. I think they got him for retaliating there as he thought that one of the Bulldogs interfered with Bobby Lombardi. We talk about this all the time. Don't touch the goalie. Kyle Ware took offense, and he did come in there with a little bit of extra force after the whistle, and it looks like that will be not accepted by the referee.
Yeah, well, one, don't touch the goal, but especially as hot as Lombardi's been, you don't want anybody trying to mess with them. We saw Florida try to do that a little bit to no avail, but still, you want to protect your goalie. But big opportunity here for this Georgia Bulldog attack. We know how dangerous they are 5-on-5. What can they do here 5-on-4?
First power play of the day. Either way, 11:47 to go in the first period, 1:45 now on that power play. Georgia sending it on down, bringing it back up top. Alex Carey. On sent over to Holcomb and back to Carey. On back down. Moggy now back up top. Carey tries to drive and he loses it. Nick Pizzo trying to take it away. He will clear it on down. Carey, we talked about him a number of times. The captain of this team. Not a lot of great stats other than his goals. One of the goal leaders on the team. So normally has a good strike, and then he fires it right there. You could just see off the wrister. It got deflected by Lombardi and eventually makes it into the net.
Yeah, you can see why on this team, he may not be the best puck handler, he may not be the fastest player, but you see that shot he has. He fired it right on Lombardi, and Lombardi had to be quick on that. But Georgia here trying to get some early pressure, and they've been all over Lombardi, but Lombardi stood tall and stymied every single attack they've come at with right now. So the Gamecocks, that we've seen before, they've gathered momentum off the penalty kill. So let's see if that happens once again, if they can stop this penalty and then start flying around a little bit afterwards.
Big-time defensive zone face-off there for the Gamecocks as they're able to clear it down halfway home in that power play for Georgia. South Carolina wins it, trying to come back out. Jacob Tengy just stalling for time and then flips it all the way back down the ice to his teammates. And that will be a long-term clearance.
That's a very smart play there by Tangy. No need to give Georgia a chance for more attack. Just hold on to it and stall for more time and then fire it back down the ice. So smart play there by Tangy instead of just trying to go for a shot.
Hustling it forward here. This is B.J. Herr with it. Herr hesitates, saves it down. He's looking for Ryan Bray behind. Ryan Bray will get it on the far side of the red line, sends it on across to his brother Steven. Steven hesitates now back up top to Herr. Drifts it off to the left, hesitates, fires a wrister, it's open in front. He had a man, that was Fendius, and Fendius creating the traffic that they needed here. A quick shot comes in from Ryan Bray. Check that, Stephen Bray, and it's held by Lombardi.
Yeah, Georgia's doing exactly what they need to do, and sort of the bread and butter that Gamecocks have been using is put a player or two in front of Lombardi or the goalkeeper and screen him so he can't see the shot. Good job though by Lombardi. I think he located it right before the shot, was able to get down and knew sort of which direction it was going. But Georgia coming with pressure early and often.
15 seconds left on the power play for Georgia playing in front. Ryan Bray, a one-timer, and it goes high and wide. Georgia back up top. This is Herr, hesitating on the blue line. Waits a minute. Now it's blocked in front by a couple of Gamecock defenders. Who comes loose? Georgia will eventually have to go to center. Kyle Ware is back on the ice, and the Gamecocks have completed a power play at completed a penalty kill, exactly halfway through period number 1. So let's see now here, Robert, as you mentioned earlier, if South Carolina will have that good energy coming off the power penalty kill. On the far side, Gamecocks trying to dump in. That one went way too far around. It's picked up by Ryan D'Amato as the Bulldogs move the other way. Taken on behind, Bobby Lombardi leaves it for a teammate. It was eventually picked up by a second teammate, Nick Nardslicko. And then on up, and he sends it towards center, hustling to it and beating Ian Schneider to the puck was Aaron Phillips for Georgia. South Carolina will control it behind the red line, then pass it out to center. Ian Schneider setting up as we have a penalty called here. Let's see what happens here. No, offside, excuse me.
Yeah, just an offside there. We saw there Gamecocks trying to break out, but speed overall right now is in Georgia's favor. Is when anytime South Carolina has any kind of break, the Georgia defenders and skaters are able to get back in time. So Gamecocks going to have to make some kind of adjustment to get around that, because we've seen teams that have been faster than them, and Coach Sherwall and this team has come up with some kind of game plan to stymie that. So interesting to see what kind of adjustments they make throughout this period and throughout the rest of the game.
Sent on down for a moment by Georgia. It's kind of bounces across the neutral zone off of several players' sticks. One by Georgia, sent on along. Picked up down by Moggy. And they continue to fight for it. Now back up top. Georgia, a one-timer comes in. It's blocked up in front. Jeffrey Kostrebski with the big body knocks it down. One-timer opportunity by Phillips was turned aside. Sean Davis with it here. Quick shot, and getting right back was Phillips, and blocking that with his shin pads. Now turning it inside. It's taken away by Georgia. Right back by Carolina and kept in. Kyle Ware, beautiful job there. Sent on across, one-timer. Quick shot right to the gut by Andrew Bray. Kyle Ware doing what he does well, creating offensive opportunities for Carolina.
And that opportunity came through one of the reasons that I talked about earlier is the defense for Georgia. Sometimes they'll sort of creep up a little bit and take some of those gambles, those high-risk, high-rewards kind of play that you want to see, but sometimes like there he gambled and missed, and that allowed that opportunity for the Gamecocks. That's what you need, is take advantage of the weaknesses of a team that's only lost one game.
Got to find ways to beat them, and so far South Carolina's looking like they have the recipe for success, though a very even game so far. Georgia on a cross as the net off of its moorings here, as one of the Ice Dogs went careening hard into it and then hard into the boards, but he's quickly up to his feet. And all appears to be well there, my goodness. Georgia almost had a 2-on-1 there.
Yeah, they almost did there, but Mooring got knocked off one of the Georgia players flying in. But you can see how good and creative these Georgia skaters are, making some little dekes and fake passes, trying to draw the Gamecocks defense forward. It almost worked for them. A good job of the Gamecock defense to notice it right at the very last second, and they would step back and cause some pressure for the Georgia attacker trying to get the one-timer wide open net.
South Carolina dumps it into the offensive zone. It's picked up down there by Austin Krusko of the Bulldogs, sends it on across. Can't control it, though. It's kept in. Brian Soar, quick shot, bounced it right off an Ice Dog. Now right back to Nick Pizzo, who tried to have a shot, ended up running into some trouble, tries to send it across the crease. No Gamecock was there. Picked up on the near side, rather, by Krusko, sent on to center, and then sent back down toward the Bulldogs bench. Taken right back by South Carolina, a whistle from behind, and a little bit of extracurricular activity right on the Bulldogs bench as Georgia pulls Don Bartnikowski away from a number of their players. He was outnumbered clearly there.
He clearly was. I mean, I don't know what Georgia's mad about. I mean, it was a clean check. I mean, are you not expecting to get hit in hockey? I mean, And I guess we saw yesterday, though, Florida took a little offense, too. So maybe they're just trying to rally the Gamecocks and get them off their game because they know how heavy-hitting they are. And instead of getting a physical match, why not try to make them make an undisciplined play and get another power play? That could be what Georgia could have been trying to do, is get a retaliation.
Yeah, as much as we talked about yesterday and in previous broadcasts about Florida's intensity, Florida's feistiness, if you will, it certainly goes both ways. The Gamecocks have a lot of fighters on their team. They will get after teams. There have been some suspensions over the last couple of years, mostly against Florida, but nonetheless, the Gamecocks do have it in them, so Georgia may be trying to exploit that. Quick shot comes in from Fendius, bounces off the backboards. My goodness, Lombardi had to come back with his glove off the deflection, intended to do a double save, 2 for the price of 1 there. South Carolina drifts in, bounces it off, 1 up the fenceman for the Ice Dogs. Sent on around behind here. 7:35 to go in the first period, still no score. Corralled by South Carolina up to the point, dumped in by Dave Cochran. He had 2 men in front, Tengy and Martone. Neither got to the puck. Georgia did. Played it up toward the blue line. It is barely kept in for now. Let's see if it stays that way. 5 players there battling right in front of the Georgia bench. The puck's got to be out of the zone at this point. They continue to fight for it. And goes back in here and eventually cleared out by Georgia. And everybody will change lines after a dogfight for the puck, no pun intended.
Yeah, but you see right now, Georgia once again being frustrated just like Florida was, and sort of just doing those panic passes, just trying to get it out of their own zone as the Gamecocks are harassing them here.
Kyle Ware's shot was deflected by a Bulldog, so was Alex Kranis's, and now here comes Georgia trying to go the other way, 3-on-3. Gamecocks get him in back. It bounces in front. Open opportunity there. Can Georgia get a stick on it? No. Alex Kranis got back on defense and turned it aside. Georgia trying to bring out. Quick time to wrap around. No, can't get it. Now on a cross. They had a man open on the far side. The net was open on the far side, I should say, but it went to Kyle Ware, the Gamecocks, instead. He sends it on forward across the neutral zone. Dumped in there by Parker Sutton. Sutton trying to go on behind. It's pursued there by her. Check that, Drew Holcomb. Now sends it on back. Georgia towards center. It bounces off of one Gamecock stick and goes right on to Austin Krusco. Coming forward here, hits the deck, has one on everybody here. Who wins the puck? The Gamecocks will. Matt Orenick sends it on down the boards. Right back around, Ware to Orenick, right back to Ware. They do a little give and go. Now sent forward, a little 5-hole pass there to Parker Sutton. The Gamecocks break out on a cross. On the far side, Van Duzen, it goes off the referee again. A couple of times hits the referee. Sometimes you're in the right place at the right time, or in that case, the wrong place at the wrong time for Carolina. And Georgia will be able to clear this one out. Beating his man here. Here comes Georgia, a little 2-on-1 on a cross. Quick shot on behind. Goodness gracious, Georgia trying to put it in front. Still Lombardi. Is it in? Georgia thinks it is for a moment. I don't think it is. Lombardi, my goodness.
Oh, my. You've seen this every game. He's just made some crazy saves, and right there, once again, Georgia thought they had a goal, but we've seen Lombardi, his biggest strength is his glove. He is so quick with it. He sees the puck at the last second. Once again, and just unbelievable. There's sometimes you see some of these saves by him, and you're just left speechless, like, how did that not go in?
I truly am left speechless by that one, Robert. That had every possible opportunity on a cross, a one-timer by Moggy as Georgia tries to win this face-off again, trying to send it in. Kyle Ware will keep it out. And South Carolina will eventually be able to clear the zone. Going the other way, one-on-one, Ian Schneider. Schneider's facing off against Jesse Suave, and then Georgia gets back in time. Schneider turns around, sends it toward Bray, who sticks it off to the left side. Jacob Tengy corrals there. Alec Martone tries to put it up, and he ended up hitting the stick of a Bulldog. That's Alex Carey. Georgia trying to clear it out. Eric Moggy kicks it off his skate all the way down. That will be icing. Going back to that last series of saves by Lombardi, he stops basically a wide open one-timer. Then Georgia got it on a deflection, tried to wrap. He was there. The puck was still loose in front. They played it up, and Lombardi still too good.
We talk about time and time again how important he's been to this team. Just this 8-game winning streak they're on right now is largely in part due to him as well. We talk about Kyle Ware and this goal scoring that the Gamecocks have. These big saves on Lombardi once again is proving that why he's such an important part of the team. And remember, Brett, we talk about it all the time, he's a freshman.
He is a freshman. Unbelievable the way this guy is playing so young and so early in his Gamecock career. They may be in store for several good years in net. South Carolina will eventually control this one. Kostrubski turns around. He had a wide open Mike Borst in front, but he just couldn't hold it on to send it forward toward the net. Georgia will dump it in. Dave Cochran going after it. Georgia dumped in on their side of the ice. Icing once again called as South Carolina getting a little momentum here.
Unbelievable. Borst had it. If he could have just gotten any kind of a stick on it, he probably would have scored a goal there because Bray was not there and ready for it. But what you got to love to see right now is this same line for Georgia has been on the ice for these last couple icings. So you got to see if the Gamecocks here can sort of take advantage of that. As one of the Georgia players tried to sneak off and the referee saw it the last time, you've already played a full game yesterday and now you're playing a game again today. This fatigue factor could start setting in, especially with these icings. These guys have been out here for 2 or 3 minutes.
South Carolina did have a little bit more rest as they played in the afternoon yesterday. Georgia played at night. So a little over 24 hours for the Gamecocks, just about 24 hours of rest for Georgia. Face-off won defensively by the Ice Dogs, taken here by Carter Penzine for a moment, who feeds it on back toward his teammate Aaron Phillips. Phillips beats Jeffrey Kostrebski back up to the blue line. South Carolina will control in there. Sean Davis turns it around to Dave Cochran, picked up by Moggy. Moggy turned it aside. A couple of players get their sticks tangled here. I think that's a good no call, as it appeared to be incidental contact by both sides there. 4:29 to go in the first period, still no score. 9 shots on goal for Georgia, 8 for South Carolina. Coming up here, hustling forward, Christopher Santamaria plays it toward the center. No Gamecock can get a stick on it. Caleb Santamaria did, and it just went wide of the cage. Caleb Santamaria on behind here, sent back up top. This is B.J. Hur, who dumps in on the far side, had nobody there, and Georgia will retreat. Don Bartnikowski trying to break out here. Feeds it on up to Sean Davis, who gets hit hard by Perry Holcomb and hits the deck. On up, and now hustling forward here. This is Austin Krusco pushing it along. Caleb Santamaria trying to pick up. It comes all the way out.
Yeah, Brett, Gamecocks there. One of the defenders just slid across the ice. He may not have actually touched the puck, but it's halted the play just enough, and the Georgia players had to wait too long. He might have saved the goal there as they were coming in hard.
South Carolina looking to break it out here. This is Jeffrey Kostrebski. Check that Matt Orenek. Orenek feeds Devin Urgo. Goes down behind the red line. 3:34 to go here in the first period. Sent on along. Caleb Santamaria in front of the Georgia bench. Plays it on towards center. Christopher Santamaria bounces it over to his teammate Dan Fendius. Fendius back to Christopher Santamaria. Fendius got lit up by Ware, but Fendius has it. Tries to spin around, runs into trouble. A couple of Gamecocks there. Fendius still with it. Tries to clear it to the front. Holcomb a little backhand, no. And South Carolina will take it and break out. Gamecocks a little 3-on-2 perhaps. Nick Pizzo has it onside, slides to the right. He's checked hard by Perry Holcomb, and then Pizzo ends up slamming Holcomb to the deck. Georgia will try to break out the other way now. 3 minutes to go here in the period. Quick shot from Fendius. Got a little bit deflected there by Brian Soar. The Gamecocks try to send it around. Stephen Bray with it. Plays it on down. Back behind the red line. Ryan Bray with it. He looks to bring it out. Bray feeds his teammate. Stephen Bray feeds his brother, Stephen Bray, I should say. I guess he is his teammate as well. And plays it on down. Cleared out once again by Carolina. Just over 2.5 minutes to go here in period number 1. Both teams still searching for their first goal. Bobby Lombardi thinks about going to Brian Soar, and as he does so well, no turnover here by the Gamecocks, open in front, and it's taken there by Soar. Good play by Lombardi, almost a bad play by the Gamecocks defense. This will be icing here.
Yeah, one of the things I'm really noticing with making this Georgia defense, and what's probably carried them throughout this whole season, is they're very good with their sticks, knocking sticks up off the ice or keeping their sticks on the ground. We've seen them harassing Gamecock skaters so many times, making it even harder on them to make passes or even get shots on net. So Gamecocks have that kind of play of blocking the shots before it gets to the goaltender, where Georgia tries to slap the sticks and make moves for the players can get on their goalie, Bray.
Another face-off win by Georgia. They tried to attack the net, but ended up not having anybody there on the far side. Bobby Van Duzen will win it on the far boards for the Gamecocks. He's got Barker Sutton in front if he wants him. No, he sends it on down. Picked up here. Hustling over to it for Georgia. Cam Gilmore lost it for a moment. Now trying to play it along. Going after it, Jacob Tenge for the Gamecocks. It's won here briefly by Ryan D'Amato of Georgia. They continue to fight for it. D'Amato will have it. Plays it on around. South Carolina has it right back. Coming in, quick shot from Sutton. Bray lost it in front. Who's going to get to it? As it ended up, B.J. Hur ended up knocking it right back to Bray, so he could just hold it there as he couldn't control the rebound.
You see this aggressive forecheck coming in by the Gamecocks. Once again, I'm pretty sure Georgia hasn't really faced this kind of team. We know they faced the Gamecocks before, but they haven't faced this kind of physical team. We saw in the offensive zone, the Gamecocks laid 4 or 5 solid checks, 3 or 4 actually really big ones. So this physicality of the Gamecocks team, I'm pretty sure most of these teams that come out here and played have not faced this kind of physicality from a team.
Winning it here for Georgia and then being taken down, no call there. You heard a couple of people kind of gasp up here, thinking that might be a penalty. Not to be. Eric Moggy battling Dave Cochran for it on the behind the far red line. They continue to fight for it here. Who wins it? Georgia looks like they will. But for a moment, Gamecocks getting several people involved, and Ian Schneider will come out. Gamecocks wanted a penalty there. Wasn't to be. Still loose there along the blue line. Cochran plays it up. 1:15 to go here in the first period. Jacob Tenge now fighting for it. Cam Gilmore wins it for Georgia. Plays it on back. Moggy feeds it forward. This is hustling forward now with it, Alex Carey. Carey runs dead into a wall of Kyle Ware. Back on towards center. Less than a minute to go now. No score here. Still one more shot for Georgia. No goals either way. As South Carolina plays it down, 50 seconds to go here. Perry Holcomb wins it and beats Alex Cranis, now moves out the other way. 45 seconds to go. Hustling forward here, Holcomb loses it at center, but is still able to dump in with a little last-minute flick. Kyle Ware wins it back for South Carolina, plays it on along the boards to his teammate. South Carolina trying to break out. Here's Ware, now sent up to Sean Davis. Davis across, bounces it off the skate of another Gamecock all the way down. No icing called here because of that bounce. 25 seconds now. Georgia plays it up, taken by Sean Davis briefly. On to Christopher Santamaria, comes up to Caleb Santamaria. Georgia trying to get a last rush here before the end of the period with 17 to go. Right on back up top. Here's Christopher Santamaria, drives down. Now won by South Carolina. They're going to try to do something with this and try to stop the pressure here late. But Georgia keeps it on. Caleb Santamaria sends it on behind. Georgia trying to break out a little backhanded pass, and it goes high and wide of the cage with 3.4 to go.
Yeah, Georgia applying some late pressure here at the end. I'm expecting they're probably going to set up with these top goal scorers and snipers they have on this team. They're going to set up a face-off play right here. They probably already know what it is, and they're going to have a guy probably set up right behind the face-off, try to get a quick shot with only 3.4 seconds to go. As you can see, they're setting up heavy right here.
Georgia will win the faceoff. Turnaround attempt by Perry Holcomb gets deflected, and that will do it for period number one. We're hearing late from the sideline here. Both coaches not happy with the lack of calls. You know, I guess that's going to happen in any kind of game. In a game like this, I'm okay with letting them play.
I'm okay with letting them play, but at a certain point, I feel like if you're going to call it like this in the first period, you got to call it consistently in the second and third period. Well, and that's going to be the key to see if the referee's going to let them do this. Then, you know, it's not like it's an advantage for one team or the other. So both teams are going to have to adjust. And if they call it the right way, it should be good. And both teams, I'm sure, will adjust to this in the halftime or the intermission when they talk about it in the locker room.
It is indeed the intermission here with no score between Carolina and Georgia. When we come back, we'll have your 107.5 The Game intermission report. We'll break down what we've seen in the first period and what we think we might see in the second 20 minutes of play. No score, South Carolina, Georgia in the SECHC Tournament semifinals. Back to Fordyce Center right after this on the Capital City Sports Network.
The Gamecocks at the movies.
Hi, welcome to Gossip on Talk of the Town.
Round 4, Hammered with Questions, Christmas edition.
How the hell does this work?
I don't know where I kind of lost my train of thought with this one.
This is my first sip of alcohol.
Who is your favorite person besides SpongeBob? Who's your favorite person in the world?
I think it would be ASAP.
Whoa! I feel like a Tinder story really never goes well.
The fountain is not on, but it's about to turn up here in 5 points.
Eating on campus is glorious.
Love it and don't you? Listen.
Super Nukem Power Teenage Wasteland, whatever.
What the?
So I turned to my chair, and right when I lifted my leg, I farted.
Oh, got your ass! You guys just got pumped.
Don't you think that it's boring how people talk? Making smart with their words again. Well, I'm bored. Because I'm doing this for the thrill of it, killing it, never not chasing a million things I want. And I am only as young as the minute is full of it, getting pumped up on the little bright things I want. But I know they'll never own me.
Three-day round-robin event with senior team. The day where Taylor White was 6
A lot of players, 900 players were pumped up and ready to go for their first.
And talk it out like yeah.
Welcome back to the Ford Ice Center, everybody. Time for your 107.5 The Game intermission report. 107.5 The Game is the radio flagship of your South Carolina Gamecocks. Anytime you can't make it out to Colonial Life Arena or for any of the road games, go ahead and tune into our friends over there at 107.5 with Derek Scott on the men's basketball calls and Brad Muller on the women. At last check, the men leading Mississippi State 61-60 down in Starkville with about 7 minutes left there. So after you want to tune into that a little bit, come on right back with us as soon as you can. The Gamecocks ladies at UConn Monday night. No score here tonight between South Carolina and Georgia at the first intermission. Robert, we are used to seeing the Gamecocks score a lot. They've had 4 or more goals in 8 of their last 9 wins that they've had. Georgia, meanwhile, on the other side, they had 12 games. They have 12 goals last night, but overall tonight's defense, it's winning out.
Yeah, defense is winning out. Georgia being good with their sticks on the ice and also harassing Gamecock skaters. Gamecocks are being aggressive on the forecheck and being very physical out there, hitting a lot of players. So both sides really played well. Both teams have gotten some solid opportunities, but the goalies have also showed up. But so far, really not the offensive attack we thought from either one of these teams is going to show up.
Yeah, Georgia's been able to create some more offensive opportunities. Nonetheless, Bobby Lombardi has been phenomenal in goal. Physicality, an interesting story to this one. South Carolina tends to play a little bit more physical. We saw Georgia try to answer back with a couple of big checks. South Carolina, meanwhile, Kyle Ware with the only penalty there from a little bit of extracurricular activity. Coach Sirois saying the last thing the Gamecocks can do is get in the box a lot tonight and be playing man down. But overall, the physicality usually works for Carolina.
You know, what we've seen is they've been very, it sounds funny to say, but disciplined with their checking. You know, they've gotten solid hits. They've gone out there, played really well, and what you really like to see is Georgia trying to fight back, and you can't do that against South Carolina because then they're just going to respond even harder. And what I'm starting to see, what I'm trying to watch for in every game is what the other players are doing, and the Georgia players are starting to feel it already. And we saw last game, Florida started finishing maybe a little bit in the second period, early third period. These Georgia players know these hits are coming, and they're starting to slow down their offense a little bit because they're hearing those skates coming at them, and it's really affecting their offense as well. So that's one of the big things you want is not only are you wearing them down, but you're affecting their offense, which we know is so deadly.
Yeah, you start to hear footsteps in any sport. That's not a good thing. South Carolina trying to enforce its will. So far, so decent with no score at the end of the first. Players starting to get back on the ice. We are going to dip out for just a moment. When we come back, we'll have puck drop for period number 2. The Gamecocks and the Ice Dogs next on the Capital City Sports Network. Welcome back to the Ford Ice Center, everybody. Brett Williams and Robert McCachren here with you. Thanks for being with us. 20 minutes now to go in the second period as we get ready to drop the puck here on the second frame of play. Georgia outshooting the Gamecocks 20-6 in the first period, but neither team able to beat the other team's goaltender, so no score in this semifinal game. Again, the winner will face Ole Miss tomorrow at 3:15 Central, 4:15 Eastern. The loser to face Vanderbilt, 11 in Central Time and 12 back in Columbia and everywhere on the East Coast. Won here by Georgia after a couple of players battle for it. Taken back by Cam Gilmore, and suddenly it's sent on towards center. Georgia dumps in. A couple of players fighting for it. On a cross, taken by South Carolina. Nice back pass. Sean Davis hustling forward. He does not have numbers, but he has Jacob Tingy in front of him. It's picked beautifully of his pocket by B.J. Herr. And on the cross side, taken here for a moment by Georgia, continuing to fight for the puck, and the Bulldogs will get it and bring over. Moggy dumps in. Georgia's just going to go ahead and get off the ice, change lines there. Big jailbreak there. South Carolina trying to break out the other way. Almost controlled by Tingy. He still loses it. And South Carolina has to bounce it back down. Opportunity for the Gamecocks there blown. Matt Orenick there, Alec Martone. And he will glove it down right along the blue line, taken here by Georgia. This is Drew Holcomb who sends it on along. On up, here comes Georgia very quickly, and it's poked aside. Great job by Matt Orenick getting back on defense and poking it away from Christopher Santamaria. They fire again, and it's gloved easily by Bobby Lombardi, scooping it up off the crease.
Good job there once again by Lombardi, not allowing any rebound chances on both sides we saw for Georgia and South Carolina. So one defensive for Georgia get a nice little poke check and wipe it away, and we saw Orenick coming back here was behind one of their Georgia's top goal scorers, Chris Santamaria, but once again he poke checked it away as well. So good job at both these defenses stopping these potent attackers from allowing anything on the goals.
Georgia, phenomenal centering pass there as Austin Krusco almost got a piece of it. One of the Gamecocks instead was able to stick it aside. They battle on the far boards. Caleb Santamaria with it. Who wins the puck? Georgia comes in 2-on-nobody. Christopher Santamaria beats Lombardi and he scores. Christopher Santamaria, the feed from his brother Caleb. He had a nothing against it was Lombardi there, and this time Georgia's stick handler too good. Caleb Santamaria slides to his right. A little backhand goes top shelf, and Georgia strikes first.
Yeah, Nard Slicko and Soar both mad at the referees, believing they were held or something, not allowing them to get back on defense. Not really sure that conversation is going on, but they both seem really upset and both went to the referees. But great job there by Georgia. We know how potent their offensive is. And the two brothers there, I'm sure there's a little bit of chemistry knowing what the other guy wants to do. And once you have a big goal scorer like that, one-on-one against the goalkeeper, you always usually pick in favor of the attacker.
And to make matters worse for South Carolina, an immediate penalty called in the aftermath of the goal from Georgia. So Brian Soar, who's called for tripping. Actually, so that ended up happening, evidently a delayed penalty that Georgia able to cash in on. You see that every now and then, and when they do it, it can be devastating. So Georgia now immediately with the 1-0 lead will now go on the power play. Now South Carolina trying to do something defensively here. Georgia trying to build on their momentum. Dan Fendius charges in. Cole Judd providing some pressure for South Carolina. Coming on out in front of the Georgia bench, this is Herr winning at the point. He sends it over to Caleb Santamaria. Tries the one time, plays it off the backboard. Didn't look like that was intentional. Sometimes you see that. Maybe not this time. On across to Herr. Plays it right on back. Tic-tac-toe from Georgia. They have that in their arsenal all the time. Won by Stephen Bray on the far side. Got his brother Ryan right there and feeds it to him. Ryan Bray on the far side. Back to Stephen. Now Ryan goes and crashes up on top the B.J. Herr from Stephen Bray. Off the boards and on the near side. Taken here by Caleb Santamaria, who comes up in front of the goal. Quick shot. And Bobby Lombardi, quicker once again with the left glove, snags it. Several Gamecocks down on the ice as well in front.
Yeah, great job there by Lombardi once again with this Georgia Bulldog attack. You'd think with all those goal scorers, some of them would be a little selfish with the puck, but they're passing it all around, getting several opportunities where they probably could have shot, but instead they waited for a better shot, almost like that Spurs kind of offense where, you know, you may have a good shot, but your teammate could have a better shot, and that's what makes this Georgia team so dangerous.
It's what makes the Spurs click. It's what makes the Ice Dogs 21-2. Winning it here and then falling to his feet there was Perry Holcomb. Sends it over to the captain, Alex Carey. And Eric Moggy now taking it behind. 55 seconds left in the man advantage for Georgia. Sent it along back to Moggy. Coming up toward the center, he had a man in front. Christopher Santamaria didn't get through. Actually, he did get through and got too far through. Georgia on the near side. Carey back up top. Here's Holcomb, drifts to his right. Holcomb hesitates, now fires in. A little bouncing puck in front, almost to Eric Moggy. He would have had a wide open net if he had it. Sending up top, Christopher Santamaria, no. Alex Carey, a quick shot. It comes off the stick of Jeffrey Kostrebski and bounces off the near boards. 30 seconds left in the power play for Georgia. Holcomb up top, plays it inside, bounces off of Christopher Santamaria's stick and then into the glass behind the cage. Heading on back, quick one-timer opportunity was fanned on by Carey. Gamecocks will send it around but not out. Georgia controls to 17 seconds. This power play has been very effective for Georgia. Up in front, Christopher Santamaria, no, he couldn't quite get his stick to it. On the near boards, they continue to fight for it. Carey tries to bring it out, sends it on down. This is Moggy from behind. He's got Christopher Santamaria waiting in front. Up on top, looking for Carey, no, bounces off of a Gamecock, and now coming out will be Brian Soar. So the Gamecocks will kill off their second penalty of the night, and the Gamecocks trying to corral down. Alex Crane is here. Send it on in front. A little backhanded opportunity by Martone. No. Delayed penalty. This will go against Georgia. And eventually the Ice Dogs touch up. So right after a penalty kill, the Gamecocks turn around and go on the power play.
And we've seen the momentum that the Gamecocks have built off penalty kills. And if they can keep that momentum going here on the power play, on the man up, that could be really big for them and try to help them get back into this game being down only by a goal. But what we talk about with Georgia as well, how potent their attack is, they seem to do the exact same thing the Gamecocks do when they're on the power play on both of their lines, however. They put 4 forwards and 1 defenseman out there on the ice.
First power play for South Carolina of the day. They have the line you'd expect. Kyle Ware, Matt Orenick, as Georgia wins this first faceoff here. Jacob Tengy, Alec Martoni, and Schneider. Orenick has it here. He's got Kyle Ware on the far board. 16-11 to go here in period number 2. Georgia 1, South Carolina 0 in the tournament semifinals. South Carolina plays it towards center. Here's Alec Martone. Martone on a cross. Ian Schneider's with him. Martone drifts in. Runs into some trouble here. Hard check from Georgia. Bounces up, taken by Ryan Bray and cleared. Couple early clearances from Georgia. And the Ice Dogs change lines. Jacob Tengy sends it on across. Stolen right back by Georgia. They might try to counter here. Winning it, Caleb Santamaria, the goal scorer for Georgia. Tries to drift in. Quick shot, and he scores. Top shelf, cross the crease, short-handed. And Caleb Santamaria sucks the life out of the Gamecocks here. 2-0 now, and both goals coming off a number 9 stick.
Yeah, Santamaria there, wow, no angle. He fired up top shelf. There was really nothing Lombardi could do there. He protected his far post. There was no way Santamaria could get there. But what he did find was the other side, was able to sneak it right by Lombardi, and we see why this Georgia team is so dangerous with that goal, and shorthanded nonetheless. So Gamecocks right now really going to do something special right here to sort of stop this bleeding, because Georgia Bulldogs are all over them, whether it's 5-on-5 or on the penalty kill.
Time of that goal coming 4:22, 3 minutes and 1 second after his last one. Caleb Santamaria, 2 goals in this second period to give Georgia a 2-0 lead. South Carolina desperately needing something on this power play here. They clear it out on an errant pass. 51 seconds left on a man advantage. How will South Carolina respond? The biggest adversity they have faced really since the UNC Charlotte game that started their second half of their season, where they were down 5-2 and came back to win 6-5 in overtime. That was the second of an 8-game win streak that they currently ride on. 30 seconds to go. And offside called here. A little bit of extra pushing and shoving. The referee will get involved and force Kostrebski out, so he didn't do something he would probably regret.
And what you got to worry about now is these Gamecock players are frustrated. They've been on the power play this entire time. It seems like Georgia's just been skating on 5-on-5. They've really not been able to get any pressure on Georgia. And this is almost like you said, shaping up like the Charlotte game. So the good news for the Gamecocks is that they've faced this adversity before, so they have a chance to try to get back in this game.
As expected, we're hearing from the sideline, Emma Mondo and Jack Taylor telling us Georgia's bench is loud, energetic, feeling it right now, and why not? After a shorthanded goal, that's what you usually get. South Carolina trying to come back here. Jacob Tengy on the far boards. He's got Kyle Ware at the point and Matt Orenick as well. This is Ware in front of the Gamecocks bench, bounces off the skate of Tengy. 10 seconds to go here in the power play. Tengy drifts in, quick wrister. It got blocked by a Georgia defender up front and cleared down. That should do it for the power play. Perry Holcomb was the one who was charged with that penalty. He's now out of the box, even strength here. And Georgia really owned that penalty kill. Martone sends it on up. Here's Ian Schneider across the blue line. Martone, check that Schneider down on the red line now. Feeds it on behind Jacob Tengy. Taken here by Eric Moggy. Spun around. Big check from behind by the Gamecocks. Another return check. Alec Martone just head hunting on Moggy right now. Played on that Moggy all over the ice, and he steals it. He's got a 3-on-2 developing. Moggy, he's got Alex Carey in front, feeds it on behind. Here's Carey, turns around, can't get a shot off, and Kyle Ware gets it instead. Sends it over for the Gamecocks as they look to break out the other way. Tengy tries to play it along the dasher for Martone, who falls, but still gets a stick on it and sends it over to the far side. Ian Schneider driven hard into the boards by one of the Ice Dogs. They go up along the near boards. Battled for and won by Georgia, now played up to Moggy at center. Moggy turns around and dumps in. Georgia going to make a quick line change here. Sean Davis behind. Let's see what South Carolina can do with this. They try to send it up towards center. Chopped on forward into the offensive zone, but won right back by the Ice Dogs. Caleb Santamaria sends it on up to his brother Christopher. Christopher Santamaria drifts in. Quick wrister. Blocked up high by Bobby Lombardi. Where's the puck going to land? It goes behind and recovered by the shooter Santamaria. Up top now. Lost for a moment there by Aaron Phillips. Now sends it on over. Bounces again toward the center. Now picked up from behind Caleb Santamaria. On top, bounces off the stick of a Bulldog. Now here comes South Carolina the other way. Nick Pizzo has a 2-on-2. Bart Nikowski in front of the net. Plays it inside. Bart Nikowski almost got his stick on it. Instead, he got his skate to it first. South Carolina a check, but it's cleared towards center. Nick Nardslicko sends it down right back to Georgia, however. And the Ice Dogs come on across. 3-on-2. Here come the Ice Dogs on across. Christopher Santamaria drifts in. Up in front. It's still loose and won by the Gamecocks. Brian Soar sends it on over. Perry Holcomb on in front of the Georgia bench. Bouncing puck right toward Lombardi, and he kicks it off. to another Gamecock there. Don Bartnikowski on the near boards, sends it on up, bounces it off of Nick Pizzo, who hustles forward here, tries to beat Santa Maria. No. Pizzo then wins it. Pizzo drifts in. Quick shot. It goes high. Brady hardly got it, and it goes up high. Gamecock's trying to drift in. No. Jeffrey Kostrebski going along. Plays it on behind the red line. Who wins the puck? Holcomb, no. Christopher Santa Maria, yes. Gloves it down. Jeffrey Kostrebski, quick shot. It's loose in front. Firing by Cole Judd, deflected aside. And the net comes, no. Does the net come off its moorings? No, but Bartnikowski is down in the crease.
Yeah, some big hits there by South Carolina, and Georgia took offense to that, and there was some jawing. That could have led to that hit there as well. And Georgia's jawing with the referees, but I mean, South Carolina just plays a very physical game. I'm not sure if Georgia's fully prepared for that because we saw several big hits. And South Carolina, the way they've gotten back into their games when they've been down, the momentum has now been on their side, is go out there and make some big checks. And several of the teams, some of the players have responded to those checks. So that's what you're going to need for South Carolina. Sometimes it's okay just to keep following your game plan because you know it's worked game after game.
Well, the South Carolina is going to go on its second power play here. Perry Holcomb right back in the box just a few minutes after he was called for his first one. Quick shot from the Gamecocks in front. They score! Just what they needed off the power play. Loose in front for the Gamecocks. Jacob Tengy and Alec Martone right on the doorstep. And South Carolina has cut this lead in half.
And look at that energy by the Gamecock bench. You saw them tapping their sticks just like Georgia did, and almost looking at them saying, hey, we're here and we know how to play as well. Great passing there. Like we talked about before, Rennick with that eyesight probably could be quite possibly the best passer on the team. Fired it over. They got a wrister there. Bray was able to stop the first one. Like we talked about before, they love to jump on top of those rebounds. And once again, South Carolina gets it off the rebound. And that's just what South Carolina needed here on the power play to get themselves right back in the game and give them confidence that they can come back out and score and compete with this Georgia Bulldog team.
Time of the goal, 7:57, just 7 seconds into the power play. Georgia trying to counter here. Jacob Tengy from Matt Orenek on the goal for South Carolina. Georgia now on the blue line, tries to send it in. A couple of players with some hard checks. Now they fight for it along the red line. South Carolina, Brian Soar. Let's see if their energy increases just as Georgia's did after the first goal for the Ice Dogs. That one goes bouncing along the boards, but ended up going out of play and a hard hit from behind. Will that be a penalty? Georgia with a player down hard in the far face-off circle.
Yeah, I was sure there, but we saw Georgia ramping up the physicality as well, and SGTV is going into the penalty box there, but that's what what you're seeing here from Georgia is they're trying to respond. And if I'm Georgia, I'm sure you got to respond, but at the same time, you really don't want to get this South Carolina team riled up the way they play. But the Gamecocks now going on another penalty kill, and that's definitely not what you need now when you got the momentum on your side. But one of the Georgia players is throwing down and playing there, and it's not look good for him right now.
That's Ryan D'Amato as the athletic trainer heads on out there to attend to him. We're going to step aside for just we'll wish well to D'Amato. We'll be back right after this on the Capital City Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody. Good news is Ryan D'Amato is up under his own power. Off on the bench is being treated there. We'll see if we can get you an injury status for him, but good to see him up nonetheless. 2-minute penalty now on Alex Kranis for the Gamecocks. Georgia 0 for 2 on the power play. The Ice Dogs will try to cash in here after ceding 1 goal for the Gamecocks. Sent on along here. Georgia trying to take it up from the red line. No, it got blocked off very high. I think it might have hit the post and the pad of Bobby Lombardi simultaneously. Coming up in front, bounces off the stick of a Gamecock, it's loose. Up in front, B.J. Herr, quick shot comes in, it was blocked off of the stick. Ryan Bray tried to redirect in front, still loose in front. Nick Pizzo has it here, he'll try to clear it out, and he will, all the way down. right to Andrew Bray. Nick Pizzo trying to go right at it, tries to steal it as Bray played it back towards center. He could not. Ryan Bray with it here. Ryan Bray going right at Lombardi. Quick shot. It hits off the post and off the side of the cage as well. Ryan up in front, up wide open in front, and missed, though, on the backhand by Stephen Bray. He went behind the cage, and South Carolina cleared. It looked like Stephen Bray would have a sure goal, but it was not to be. South Carolina now. Check that. Georgia moving across center. This is B.J. Herr. Hesitates for a moment. Now stolen by the Gamecocks. Trying to go the other way. Jacob Tengy. Will he beat Ryan Bray to the puck? No. Ryan Bray plays it on along. Caleb Santamaria here. Caleb Santamaria slides onto his right, crosses the blue line, going down onside, though, however. Santamaria back up. Georgia will change lines. South Carolina, a wind, a fire, and it goes bouncing off right to B.J. Herr. Comes on right back. Lombardi, it's still loose in front. He hardly saw it, but South Carolina was able to clear it down. 43 seconds left in this power play for Georgia. Both teams having opportunities this way. Here comes Alec Martone, flicks it down. No, bounces off one Georgia Bulldog, now coming up on long. The Ice Dogs on towards center. Now falling was Alex Carey. It's taken here by Georgia. Right back by South Carolina. Right back by Georgia once again. This is Carter Penzine. Penzine sends it over. This is Christopher Santamaria here sliding over to his right. Hesitates for a moment. Beats Matt Orenek and sends it over to the near boards. Alex Carey with it here. 9:52 to go in the second period. 2-1 Georgia. And 13, 12, and 11 seconds to go in the Gamecocks penalty kill. This is Alex Carey, drifts in, quick shot, a little bit of a blocker click by Bobby Lombardi off to the far boards and off in front of the Georgia bench. Here come the Ice Dogs. Quick shot, it goes well high, wide of the cage and into the net as the penalty expires, and the Gamecocks another successful kill, but a scary one at times.
Yeah, it was technically successful, but Georgia had two good opportunities. I can't believe that one of the Georgia attackers missed that one. I'm not sure if Lombardi may have gotten a piece of it or he just hit it high of the net. You know, sometimes with those goal scorers, you think, oh, it's just going to be an easy backhand, I'm good, and maybe got a little overconfident there. But big opportunity for Georgia again right there.
South Carolina will eventually win it here despite that quick move by Georgia. Bobby Van Duzen along in front of the Gamecocks bench. Gloves it down, then taken by Georgia. Here come the Ice Dogs. Sending it along forward. Taking it here, David Spielberger. Spielberger almost hooked by Cole Judd. Tried a centering pass. Sean Davis was there and flicked it away. South Carolina will clear it. We do have a whistle from behind as the puck. There's going to be a hooking call here. Let's see who it goes against.
Power play. It looks like the referees were letting him play before, and now everything's just going in the favor of Georgia right now as far as the penalty calls go. South Carolina players have not been happy at all with some of these calls, but that's unfortunate for the Gamecocks as they were just able to get off one penalty kill, having lots of pressure put on by Georgia, and Georgia's going to pour on the exact same pressure. Once again, they're bringing out the 4 forwards and 1 defenseman, so lots of attack.
10:46, the time of the penalty. Charged to Cole Judd for the hook. So another 2-minute power play coming for Georgia as they win the face-off here. B.J. Herr at the point. A little floater goes inside. Now taken here, a quick shot. It goes well wide. Stephen Bray trying to grab it on the far side to Caleb Santamaria. Stephen Bray behind, taken by Ryan Bray. Brings it out from the red line. Runs into trouble. Now wide open in front. Where's the puck? It's loose. It's in front. Nobody saw it. And now there's a little bit of extracurriculars, and the referees will come in to stop it 15 seconds into the man advantage.
And I'm pretty sure the ref couldn't see it and thought the puck may have been stopped by Lombardi because he was laying over like he had the puck, and referees blew the whistle, even though the puck was loose. But yeah, a lot more extracurriculars, and we're starting to see wanting to see if Georgia maybe will respond as well and maybe get a little more undisciplined with all this physicalness and everything going on here as Georgia wins the faceoff and starting off on the power play again.
Georgia flipped to the point. B.J. Herr one-timer. It's loose, and it got wide. Bobby Lombardi had no chance, but it was not on target. Stephen Bray on the red line. Evan Ergo providing some pressure from South Carolina. Ergo loses it, and then it goes back up in front of the Georgia bench. This is Herr. Herr trying to drift in. Quick shot comes in. A little pass, actually, a little tic-tac-toe here. Ryan Bray feeds it on behind to Stephen Bray. Looking to come up back to Ryan. Changes positions with his brother. Now plays it on a cross. It was looking for a Gamecock, looking for a Bulldog, what am I saying, in front. And South Carolina will take it right back. Caleb Santamaria slides it off to the right side. Spin around. Quick shot. No, it went wide of the cage to the left side. 1:05 to go in the power play for the Ice Dogs. Taken up by Caleb Santamaria. Slides to his right. Feeds it on. Quick shot comes, and it goes wide again. Ryan Bray there. Fighting for it, Dan Fendius for the Ice Dogs. Gamecocks continuing to fight for it, too. 2-2 right there. 50 seconds to go in the power play. 8:02 to go in the second period. Georgia leading by 1. They continue to fight for it here. Several players, everybody in there. Devin Ergo kind of flicks it on lightly and just gets it out of the blue line, so Georgia will have to clear the zone, and that will kill a number of seconds and allow the Ice Dogs time to change lines. But a whistle there. This time they're called offside, despite Christopher Santamaria and Caleb Santamaria's opinions to the other way of that could have been.
Yeah, both these teams don't seem to be too happy with these referees right now, but they seem to be calling a pretty decent game. Maybe a couple of questionable calls, but at the same time, they are questionable. So referees can sort of have their own sort of gray lines they have there, but both teams right now just battling really hard, and both teams realizing how important this game is.
30 seconds to go in the Georgia power play. Sent on up, and South Carolina will be able to clear it down. Could set up time for one more Georgia rush. Andrew Bray plays it on towards center. Alec Martone clicks it on. Georgia will get it right back, and now right back to the Gamecocks. They'll try to kill time. They clear it right back down. 13 and 12 seconds to go in the power play. 7:25 in the period. 2-1 Ice Dogs here in the tournament semifinals. That one goes towards center. It's won by Kyle Ware briefly as Christopher Santa Maria hit the deck, and Ware will clear it down as the penalty expires. 4 for 4 are the Gamecocks on the penalty kill today. They've allowed a shorthanded goal and scored a power play goal. So both times that Georgia's committed a penalty, someone has scored. 7 minutes now in period number 2. Coming forward, Christopher Santa Maria, a little flick along forward. He was going for Lucas Warner behind the net. South Carolina tries to win it here and sends it on back out. I don't think that hit anybody, so that should be icing, and indeed it will.
Yeah, lots of pressure being put on by the Bulldogs. Went through all the 3 teams that have been playing on this weekend, but lots of pressure. But the Gamecocks are handling it really well. Like you said, they shut down all 4 of the power plays, which is what you really love to see with this attacking style play that Georgia plays with the 4 forwards and 1 defenseman. Shutting that down every time is critical for them.
Both teams going for it. Now on behind, taken here by South Carolina. Played it on long. Alec Martone lost for a moment by Spielberger. Sends it on down. Loose still, and now South Carolina will win it and try to break out. Down the dasher they go. Alec Martone hustling, but he will be beat by Drew Holcomb to the puck. Holcomb sends it over. Aaron Phillips here with it. Now sent on over. Lucas Warner plays it up, going after it. Kyle Ware and gets it in front of the Georgia bench. 6:17 to go here in the second period. 2-1 Ice Dogs. A couple of players go tumbling in the neutral zone. A little bit slow to get up here. Drew Holcomb having to crawl on all 4s.
Up, and what you really want to see now is with these hits you're bringing in, like we talked about before, Georgia's starting to get a little hesitant here, and they might start making those panicky passes like we saw Florida did the game before. This is really what you want to see, is get those icings, face-offs back in your own zone. You know, the best defense, your best offense sometimes is good defense. That's what Gamecock, are doing right now.
South Carolina playing it on along, taking it up in the defensive zone now. Brian Soar on a cross. Drifts forward, quick shot comes in, goes off of Cam Gilmore's glove, going down Jeffrey Kostrebski. He tries to find Gilmore, tries to hit him, and instead it comes all the way back out. Sean Davis sends it on, it bounced in front. Kind of a dangerous puck for Georgia. Big check attempted there and ended up hitting the wall hard to Caleb Santa Maria on his own. On across to the point, taken in Sean Davis, loose in front, now taken here. Mike Borst on the red line. Borst spins around, Jeffrey Kostrebski on behind, plays it up in front. South Carolina, no, they couldn't have anybody there on the centering pass. Georgia tries to get back, South Carolina in retreat on defense, and it goes right to Bobby Lombardi. Georgia will end up just letting it go. They will change lines. South Carolina trying to break out. Brian Soar sends it on along, all the way down. It goes past the red line, bounced a couple players at center. South Carolina will take time to change, and a few more Ice Dogs get off the ice as well. Dumped in here. Alex Carey going after it now for Georgia is Carter Penzine. They continue to battle for it behind. Penzine wins it. Up in front, one-timer, quick shot, and Bobby Lombardi go with the blocker, punches it off to the right side. Perry Holcomb on that one-timer. Another attempt. Huge open ice hit by Sean Davis. Lays out another Ice Dog. Bobby Van Duzen here. Davis is still tied up here. And now breaking free was Jesse Suave. Now here comes South Carolina, 2-on-1. This is Jacob Tengy. He's got Alec Martone. Check that, Bobby Van Duzen, who turns around on the red line, and he scores! Van Duzen off the backboards, slides it in from no angle, a 180-degree goal, and this game is tied late in the second.
That's a typical Gamecocks goal. Some big checks, fighting for the puck in their own offensive zone. What the Gamecocks really want to do, pressure, and that battling there, was just battling along with the Georgia Bulldog. Was able to poke check it out, get the 2-on-1, and Tangy with the shot. But once again, Brett, the rebound comes through, and the Gamecocks are able to get another goal. And now all of a sudden we're tied up 2-2, and you're seeing some more trash talking there for the Bulldogs. And I'm sure the Bulldogs are starting to get a little frustrated now, because this ground and pound game by the Gamecocks seems to slowly start to get into the Georgia Bulldogs' head.
Time of the goal is 15:43 here in period number 2. Bobby Van Duzen, one of the newcomers for the Gamecocks over the stretch run of the season, and he contributes in a huge game right here, the biggest South Carolina has played all year long. 2-2 hockey game with less than 4 minutes to go in period number 2. And at this point, if you're either team, you want to end the period strong. Here comes South Carolina. It's Nick Pizzo. Pizzo hustles across center. They are onside. Pizzo lit up very hard by Perry Holcomb in the far boards. They continue to fight for it on across center, taken right back by the Gamecocks. Flicked on back. Kyle Ware will control there and then send on down. Bounces it in front of his own team's bench. They fight for it. Perry Holcomb and Don Bartnikowski. They collide at the same time with the puck. Nick Pizzo wins it for a moment. South Carolina has it. Kyle Ware tries to weave his way through 2 Ice Dogs who then weave into themselves and then sent down. Recovered by Devin Ergo on across to Matt Orenik. Orenik hesitates, now comes up. On down here, a quick shot. Mike Borst in front. Borst makes a man miss. He fires, he scores! Mike Borst in the Gamecocks lead. Just beat Andrew Bray with a move from his right to his left and a backhand, and the Gamecocks for the first time tonight lead 3-2.
Big response to what we talked about, like that Charlotte game. We keep referencing, but that was the turning point for this Gamecocks team. They were down 2-0, but you know what they didn't do? They didn't get scared. They didn't panic. They kept on their same composure, and now all of a sudden, Gamecocks scoring 3 unanswered goals, and they are right back in this lead with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left to go, and all the momentum is with the Gamecocks team. And like we talked about, those hits are starting to wear on Georgia, and before those hits are slowly starting to cause Georgia to make those simple mistakes like we saw there that allowed Gamecocks to jump all over at 1-on-1, and a nice move there to beat Bray and just slots a home backhand on the open net, and Gamecocks now up with a 1-goal lead. And Gamecocks, all the momentum. You saw that bench just jumping around and getting excited, and they're ready to go.
Time of the goal, 16:45, just 62 seconds after Bobby Van Duzen equalized. Mike Borst takes the lead. And don't look now, folks, but it's a power play for the Gamecocks as Georgia committed a delayed penalty there. South Carolina cashed in the reverse of what we saw earlier. That penalty goes against number 13, Ryan Bray. And now South Carolina a chance to try to extend their lead. 2:54 to go in the second period. 1:37 this game, all Carolina right now. Going after it, Alec Martone. The bench fired up. Let's see what happens here. Jeffrey Kostrebski on the far side. Comes up, stolen by Georgia right along the blue line, but can't break out. Caleb Santamaria thought about trying to go one on nobody, but it was taken back by Kostrebski. Now Sean Davis plays it on a cross. Taken here, Dave Cochran loses it for a moment. Now plays it in off the cage. It hit the top of the cage. Dave Cochran from no angle, and now he has it here. On a cross, stolen again by Caleb Santamaria. He will just flick it down, bounce it off of a Gamecock, so no icing here. 2:17 to go in the period, 1 minute left in the Gamecocks power play. Cochran evades a defender, now looks to come out. He's got Alec Martone along the blue line, on up top. Here comes Carolina moving the other way. This is Ian Schneider. Plays it on down, up on top. Devin Ergo, no. Right back to Schneider, who plays it up, and it got bounced off of a few players. Gloved down by Schneider. Mike Borst tried to play it up to the middle, and I think they call a hand pass there.
Yeah, hand pass there with Gamecocks putting on lots of pressure out here. And this is what you got to love. The Gamecocks now come out with all this momentum, and they're starting to fire on all cylinders like we've seen. And if now it's things have switched now, if you're Georgia, you've got to make sure that South Carolina doesn't come out and start pouring more goals on you, as we were worried about by the Gamecocks in the first period.
Mike Borst sends it on down. Devin Ergo trying to get it off the deflection, looking to wrap on Andrew Bray. No, Mike Borst is there again, and Bray will grab it and hold it on the near post with 1:50 to go.
Yeah, Bray right now, you got to make sure his composure is okay as well. He's just allowed in 3 goals in sort of quick succession. So Gamecocks continue to pour this pressure on and see how Bray responds. And not only Bray, but just this Georgia team. I don't think they've faced an opposition like this all years with this prowess and this hitting ability, and they're starting to take a toll on them now.
South Carolina wins it here. 29 seconds left in a power play. Played in, now back out. Georgia will attempt to win it here. Thought they would for a second. They continue to fight for it. Now played along and cleared out by Georgia. Hustling down, Eric Moggy. He wants a piece of the puck. Who wins it? It looks like it will be Moggy who gets there first, but hit hard by Kyle Ware. Moggy falls to his feet and goes into the boards. 10 seconds left in the Gamecocks power play. They break out the pass too far, intended for Devin Ergo. Recovered by Aaron Phillips and flicked on to center. And Kyle Ware will chase down as the penalty expires. 1:14 to go in the second period. Gamecocks leading Georgia 3-2. Mike Borst spins it around, fires it up. Ryan Bray hesitates, quick shot comes in, and he scores. Ryan Bray from beyond the face-off circle turns around and goes 5-hole on Lombardi. Had a little bit of traffic in front, and Georgia ties it back up.
Yeah, Lombardi probably wishes he had that one back. Couldn't close his pad quick enough. And there was, like how we see there was a screen a little bit in front, and Lombardi couldn't really see it and was able to get down about a half second too late. And now we got a 3-3 game, and both teams now This is if you're the Gamecocks, you need to do something to get that momentum back, because right now Georgia has regained it right before the period.
Time of that goal, 18:55. Ryan Bray here, leading goal scorer for Georgia, the SECHC MVP this season, as was announced this morning here at the Ford Ice Center. And he shows you why right there. Now 1 minute to go here in the period. 3-3 game, all 6 goals scored in this period. Georgia here sends it up towards center. Taken by Brian Soar, who flicks it on along forward, taken right back by Georgia, right back by Carolina. Kostrebski, nice pass toward the center is Devin Urgo. Check that, Parker Sutton, as he's hit hard by Caleb Santamaria. They continue to get tangled up. Georgia loses it along the boards. Taken right here, Kostrebski plays it along. Little floater, Andrew Bray couldn't control it, but there is a whistle here.
Penalty is going to go against the Gamecocks here.
Yeah, they're going to say Parker Sutton ended up holding the puck, which you can't do there. Ended up kind of on top of it. So 38 seconds to go in the period, and South Carolina will end up being on the penalty kill for the 5th time tonight.
Yeah, so interesting now. In the first period, we only saw 1 penalty there. It was against the Gamecocks. Now we've had 6 all of a sudden here in this period. So I don't know if the referees just decided to not let them play, or these plays were more obvious or something, but the refereeing officiating has definitely changed here in this second period.
Face-off one here by Georgia. Quick shot comes in off the backboard. No good there. And it's sent on behind. Here's Alex Carey. He's got a man in front. It's Moggy. Carey trying to wrap. 27 seconds to go in the period. Up top and lost by Perry Holcomb. That was huge for South Carolina as Georgia really wanted that goal. They still have time, however, 20 seconds. Carey comes in. Slips almost there. Slips again. Hit hard into the boards. Coming the other way, Nick Pizzo. Pizzo trying to go 1-on-3. Pizzo drifting in. Bounces it off of one ice dog skate right back to Carey. And Pizzo will have to hustle back. 8 seconds and 7 to go. Georgia tries to play to center. Bounces off the stick of Orenick. He plays it down. That will do it as the time ticks off to the end of period number 2. No scoring in the first period, all kinds of scoring in the second period, and we are all where we started. 3-3 now between the Gamecocks and the Ice Dogs with 20 minutes to go.
This third period is pretty much starting off 0-0 once again. Gamecocks, they had all the momentum, and an unlucky bounce there by Georgia for Georgia to be able to get that 1 goal, going 5-hole against Lombardi. But so far, both these goalies, you can't really fault several of these goals against these goalies. Just great play by both the teams. And going into the third period, Brett, we got ourselves a game tied 3-3, all on the line to go to the SCHC championship.
You can't script this, folks, and you do really, if you're a fan of either team or just a fan of hockey overall, you want nothing different than what you're seeing right here is 2 teams laying it on the line for this one. Going to be a great finish and a great intermission report, we hope, coming on back after this. The 107.5 The Game's second intermission report heads your way next. Join us back in Tennessee after just this short break on the Capital City Sports Network.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gamecocks at the Movies.
Hi, welcome to Gossip on Talk of the Town.
Round 4, Hammered with Questions, Christmas edition.
How the hell does this work?
I don't know where I kind of lost my train of thought with this one.
This is my first sip of alcohol.
Who is your favorite person besides SpongeBob? Who's your favorite person?
I think it would be ASAP Ferg.
Whoa! I feel like a Tinder story really never goes well.
The fountain is not on, but it's about to turn up here in 5 points.
Eating on campus is glorious.
Love it and don't you? Listen. Super Nukem Power Teenage Wasteland, whatever.
What the hell?
So I turned to my chair, and right when I looked at my leg, farted.
Oh, got your ass! You guys just got pumped.
Welcome back, everybody. Before we get to your 107.5 The Game intermission report, it's time for tonight's presentation of Sparkling Ice. One of the sponsors of South Carolina hockey as the Zamboni gets the ice nice and sparkling here in Nashville for period number 3. First created in the Pacific Northwest in the early 1990s, Sparkling Ice makes a portfolio of refreshingly bold sparkling waters, teas, and lemonades bursting with real fruit flavor and just the right amount of fizz. Sparkling Ice delivers 19 irresistible fruit combinations without all the calories. Some of those flavors that are available: black raspberry, kiwi strawberry, peach nectarine, cherry limeade, strawberry lemonade, raspberry tea. It goes on and on. Waters, teas, and lemonades, all great, all sparkling. Sparkling Ice, proud sponsor of South Carolina hockey. When we come back, we'll have your 107.5 The Game second intermission report and break down what is becoming a thriller between the Gamecocks and Georgia. 3-3. Join us back after this on the Capital City Sports Network.
Don't you think that it's boring how people talk? Making smart with their words again. Well, I'm bored. Because I'm doing this for the thrill of it, killing it, never not chasing a million things I want. And I am only as young as the minute is full of it, getting pumped up on the little bright things I want. But I know they'll never own me.
3-day round-robin event with senior teams teams 7. The day where Taylor White was 6 women.
A lot of races, 900 players were pumped up and ready to go for their first competition.
And talk it out like yeah. And talk it out like yeah.
Welcome back to the Ford Ice Center, everybody. We are inside your 107.5 The Game second intermission report. Brett Williams and Robert McCachren here with you. Your South Carolina Gamecocks tied with the Georgia Ice Dogs 3-3 after 2 periods of play. A crazy back and forth period. Georgia scored the first 2 goals. South Carolina came back. Jacob Tengy, Bobby Van Duzen, and Mike Borst unanswered before Georgia then answered it indeed late in the period, just about a minute to go, to make it 3-3. Robert, it's been back and forth, as I said, but overall you can see South Carolina sticking to a game plan that has allowed it to really be in a position to win this game against the formidable Ice Dogs.
They definitely have. Sometimes when you see teams on whatever level, whatever sport you're playing, you'll see teams sort of get frustrated, things aren't going the way, other team gets up big, maybe not big, but it's good when they abandon their game plan or start varying a little bit. The Gamecocks compliment them for what they did. They kept their composure, they kept doing what they did, being physical on the ice, getting big checks, and eventually they knew things good would happen. They've seen it against Charlotte when they were down, and they just continued to come back, played really well, and they can't stand on a game plan, which is what you need to do against this team like this. Is if you start switching up a game plan against a team like Georgia, they're just going to run you off the ice. That's big for the Gamecocks to stay on the game plan they needed to do, and Sir Wall probably did a good job by telling his players just keep doing what we're doing.
And you saw South Carolina playing on their heels for a little bit of that period, then Georgia playing on its heels after South Carolina took the lead, but they did get the answer they needed, did the Ice Dogs, with that late goal from Ryan Bray, who came out of the box, and just a few seconds later, he had one in the net.
Yeah, you definitely did. Brett, you talked about right before the end of the second period that, but this is important for both these teams sort of to establish the momentum going into the third period, and unfortunately for the Gamecocks, Georgia was able to pull that back. 3 unanswered goals for the Gamecocks, they're riding high, and then Georgia with another shot. I'm sure Lombardi would like to have the shot back, but still, it went in. It's a 3-3 game going in, so momentum right now in Georgia is going to be critical with the Gamecocks coming back from this power play. It can you got to kill it. Because if you don't, then the momentum's going to be going already on Georgia's side. It's going to keep on going after that. And in the third period, you don't want this Georgia team to have a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, Coach Sirwa was saying at the sideline reporters that Bobby Lombardi was not blaming him for those goals, but like you said, it's certainly something, even as a goalie, anytime it gets past you, you're thinking about it. Who comes out hot? We're going to find out. It's been an interesting game, tenacity-wise, physicality-wise, here, there, between the Gamecocks and the Ice Dogs, and our sideline reporters have heard firsthand all about that, so we're going to bring in one of them from the sideline. Jack Taylor has made his way up here to the box in the Ford Ice Center to talk about what he's seeing on the ice as we bring in Mr. Taylor. Jack, what are you seeing down there? What are you hearing down there between these two benches that are really wide open next to one another?
Well, Brett, what me and Emma Mondo are hearing, we're not allowed to say on camera, so if that gives you any indication of what's going on. I mean, USC and Georgia are rivals in every aspect of sports, and it is nothing different here on the ice. I mean, it is just a bunch of going back and forth, talking between the benches and on the ice, and coach is trying to, talk about physicality, and he likes it, but there's also way too many penalties, and you can see that on the ice, and it's affecting their play. He's liking the defense. He doesn't blame Bobby for the goals he let up. He blames the defense for not being there when they're supposed to be, and he wants more shots to be taken when they have the chance, because obviously he fixed it. He was talking about it early in the period, and he fixed it because they ended up to scored really fast. So I think they're changing what they need to do, and I think they're going to come back the next period firing on all cylinders.
Now, yesterday, obviously, with Florida, it's been every time the Gamecocks and Gators have played a lot of chippy play out there. Yes, there have been more penalties here in this period, but really, overall, despite the jawing back and forth, there hasn't really been any cheap shots, any over physicality or anything like that on the ice. Do you think it's just because these teams want to be so disciplined? Is that why they're trying to lay off just a little bit?
I think it is, too. I mean, it's a lot of emotion in the game, but also I think, and Coach was talking about this, he does not like the lack of calls that he believes should be called on Georgia, and he believes that the refs are kind of pushing it one way. But I mean, from what we can see down there, it seems like pretty fair play. I mean, there was obviously a couple of them, like when Kyle Ware, his goal, I mean, his penalty, he was very angry about that because he thought it shouldn't have been a penalty, and then it was, I believe, Alex Kranis, I think is.
Yeah, Alex Kranis with that other penalty. Yeah.
That was completely. I mean, that should have been called. He was very mad about it, but I mean, you're going to be mad once you get sent to the box.
For sure, just kind of the heat of the moment, I suppose. Yeah, is how that goes.
Hopefully they can simmer down a little bit, still keep the energy up because it's been a great game as of now. So hopefully they keep it up in the third period.
As it has, we look forward to it. Jack, thanks so much for coming up. We're just gonna head on back to the sideline, and good luck down there. Should be quite interesting for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, hopefully I come back.
Yeah, that'd be nice for all of us, that's for sure. When we come back, it will be the third period, the 3-3 Georgia and South Carolina SECHC Tournament semifinal. Can't wait. You better join us for these 20 minutes of hockey. Coming up next on the Capital City Sports Network.
Hi, welcome to the Buzz on Talk of the Town.
What's going on, Carolina? Welcome to this edition of Gamecocks in the Movies.
We are here for round 6 of Hammered with Questions.
I do not think a man who tweets like a 12-year-old should be president.
What is up, my Twitter?
You date Ronaldo or this guy? Who's going to be?
This guy.
Yeah!
Oh my God.
We're going to go through the Hall of Horrors. I'm Terry.
Welcome back, everybody. Brett Williams, Robert McCachren here with you. Third period hockey between your Gamecocks and the Georgia Ice Dogs. The winner goes to the conference championship tomorrow afternoon. The loser will play the consolation game tomorrow. Should be fantastic the rest of the way. Georgia starts off on the rest of their power play. Another minute 11 of that started in the end of the second period. The face-off, or excuse me, South Carolina will win it here, coming on forward here. Hustling at Matt O'Renick, trying to stop on a dime, trying to beat Caleb Santamaria. He cannot. Santamaria wins it back for Georgia. 58 seconds to go on the minor to Parker Sutton. Gamecocks try to send it out. They will clear it out of the zone. Nick Pizzo hustling back here. And now Georgia here at center. Looks to control. B.J. Herr all the way across. Caleb Santamaria flicks in. Kyle Ware stops it on a dime. South Carolina moving right to left once again. Georgia left to right. 38 seconds to go here in the power play. Controlled behind here by Georgia. Sent on up Perry Holcomb. Onto the neutral zone they go. Holcomb hustles forward here. Jacob Tengy, no. Nick Nardslicko trying to provide some pressure. Holcomb has a couple men in front, can't get there. Brian Soar checks it out. Alex Carey with it here. Alex Carey comes in. He almost tried to get it around Lombardi, but just couldn't quite get his stick around at the angle he needed to. South Carolina behind the net, can't clear it out. Up in front, Lombardi bounces up back to Christopher Santamaria, and now South Carolina will get their sticks on it. They will clear it out. That should do it for the power play, down to only 4 seconds. And now Georgia trying to do something with it. Hustling forward here. With it now, this is Carter Penzine. Quick shot, blocked aside. Rebound, they score. Rebound, they score, and I think that will be an even strength goal, but nonetheless a 2-on-1 opportunity that Georgia cashes in. And they're calling for the athletic trainer here as the goal scorer for Georgia went careening into the boards. Christopher Santamaria. Nonetheless, Georgia does lead this game 4-3, a minute 28 into the period.
Yeah, Santamaria with a great play there. He was flying through the air and somehow had the hand-eye coordination to pop it into the goal, and no less, it was not a high stick either. So great job there by Santamaria. Unfortunate for the Gamecocks now, being down 4-3, but unbelievable play by Santamaria. These Santamaria brothers are all as advertised as we talked about before.
Christopher Santamaria, second best on the team in goals, if I'm not mistaken there. And so far, again, 2 goals by Caleb Santamaria, 1 goal now by Christopher, along with Ryan Bray, part of another brother combo on this team, a bunch of them for Georgia, and the Bulldogs lead it. But plenty of time here to go. South Carolina, quick shot. It goes wide of Andrew Bray. Now loose in front. Who gets to the puck? Georgia will, and they will eventually get it out. Coming forward with it here, this is Ryan Bray. Bounces back off to a Gamecock. Now a back pass stolen well by Georgia and taken by Stephen Bray. Passes it past his brother Ryan, going after it Cole Judd, but picking it up here, loose is Dan Fendius. Dan Fendius to Ryan Bray, looks to wrap. Ryan Bray coming loose in front, quick shot is still loose in front. Fendius couldn't get to it, Dave Cochran got his body to it first. But Georgia keeps it in, quick shot from Cam Gilmore, was blocked by Bobby Van Duzen, now comes in, blocked by another Gamecock. Van Duzen with it here, flicks it on down the dasher, and they clear. 17:42 to go, 4-3 Ice Dogs, number 1 Georgia, number 5 South Carolina in this tournament. Played on back by Dave Cochran to Bobby Van Duzen. Kept in by Van Duzen, plays it on back. Cole Judd now bounces it along the boards. One here for a moment by Lucas Warner. Warner, back and forth they go. They battle at center ice. Now taken here. This is Mike Borst. Hits it off of a referee. It goes right to Stephen Bray, who plays it on up now to Lucas Warner. Warner on along. It goes down across the blue line. And Georgia will win it for a moment. Spielberger lost it, and it's taken right back by Parker Sutton for the Gamecocks. On across, Jeffrey Kostrebski. Hustles in forward, one-timer loose. Andrew Bray loose in front, no. Kept in by South Carolina. This is O'Renick. Hesitates, now moves away around. Now hesitates in. Mike Borst tried a one-timer from no angle and just didn't get a lot on it. Georgia will look to go the other way, 3-on-2. But they instead, one man misses. Now coming forward, Ryan D'Amato. Hustles in, fans and misses and hits the deck here as he swung too hard and missed on the shot. South Carolina moving forward, though. Good to see D'Amato back on the ice there after he was shaken up big time earlier. So all is well there. And we have heard as well that the second Bulldog who went down earlier in this game is also doing well. His knee was a bit shaken up, but he is okay. So moving forward now, Eric Moggy, quick shot in, and Bobby Lombardi traps it with his glove and his blocker together right in front of his chest.
All kinds of pressure being thrown at the Gamecocks right now. We talked about the momentum being taken away from the Gamecocks late in the second period, and it looks like it's carried over in this third period where the Georgia Bulldogs have gotten a goal in the lead, and they're continuing to pour on the pressure. So the Gamecocks now really have to pick up the intensity and play a little bit smarter hockey here, try to get back into this game.
Won by Georgia, fanned on by Perry Holcomb. It goes in, and South Carolina will clear out. Alec Martone trying to turn on the Jets. Martone has it here, makes his way around one Bulldog, but can't quite get the stick to the puck thereafter, and eventually gets taken back and cleared to center. Nick Nard-Slicko dumps it across, glove down for a moment, but taken right back, and Georgia has it. Carter Penzine on across. A little back and forth to Alex Carey. Carey goes forward with Moggy. Carey blocked by Brian Soar. Good work by his legs, kicking that one out. Hustling forward here, Jacob Tangy, little cross hatching, going on forward, and a quick pass towards center, and it one gets through. Georgia will take it right back. Georgia on the cross. This is Moggy, plays it up above the glove of Nick Nard-Slicko. Bobby Lombardi sticks it off to the side. This is Brian Soar. Gamecock goes down hard in the near face-off circle. That's Tangy, and play is halted.
Couldn't really tell what happened there. Not sure if Tangy took a shot or what. But he's down and he's laying on his back right now. Hopefully he's okay for the Gamecocks, but couldn't really tell what happened there, if it was a stick or.
That was behind the play, and they're going to call out the next athletic trainer, so we will take a short break and come back. Jacob Tangy here, 4-3 Georgia, early third period on the Capital City Sports Network.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gamecocks at the Movies.
Hi, welcome to Gospel and Talk with the Town.
Round 4, Hammered with Questions, Christmas edition.
How the hell does this work?
I don't know where I kind of lost my train of thought with this one.
This is my first sip of alcohol.
Who is your favorite person besides SpongeBob? Who's your favorite person?
I think it would be ASAP first.
Whoa! I feel like a Tinder story really never goes well.
The fountain is not on, but it's about to turn up here in 5 points.
Eating on campus is glorious.
Love it and don't you? Listen. Super Nukem Power Teenage Wasteland, whatever.
What the? Oh!
So I turned to my chair, and right when I lifted my leg, I farted.
Oh, got your ass! You guys just got pumped.
Welcome back to Antioch, Tennessee, everybody. Jacob Tangy being helped to the sideline. He is up. Appears to be at least decently well, getting over there again with the help of a couple of teammates, but is now kind of taking a few steps there on the bench, going off, try to get treated. We will keep tabs on Tangy's status, but at least good to see him up and skating off, even though not fully under his own power. Couldn't really tell what got shaken up there, but we will let you know if we do. In any case, it is 4-3 Georgia here, 15:44 to go in the third period here, and Georgia will win the face-off and play down. Trying it up in front, a little one-timer, no good, and South Carolina will break out. Nope, it is cleared towards center at least, and Cam Gilmore will go grab it and play it on back to his teammate, now loose, and South Carolina wins it in the defensive zone. Bounces off of Caleb Santamaria, now on a cross, played on up here. South Carolina loses it, Gilmore on a cross. Still loose up on toward the middle. Now Christopher Santamaria checked hard by Matt O'Renick, and now moving forward. Caleb Santamaria, quick shot from no angle. Lombardi got a piece of it and kicked it off to the right side of the cage. Fighting for it on the near boards. Now both teams go for it. Losing it, Christopher Santamaria. Here comes Alec Martone going one on Bray the other way. Martone makes one man miss, and he scores! Alec Martone slides to the right side. He beats Bray across just as Borst did earlier, and the Gamecocks equalize.
And Brett, I don't want to say this completely, but that Ornick hit check there on one of the top players, Chris Santamaria. So right there you see sometimes these checks, like I said, can motivate these players and get them going. That was a big check. Santamaria was shaking up a little bit, and Gamecocks able to go one-on-one. Martone with a nice move, beat Bray, and that's twice now, one by Georgia and one by the Gamecocks, where they've been one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and both the goal scorers have made no mistake about it and put it right past the net.
South Carolina, Alex Cranis with a little backhand. It was blocked off by Bray. Time of the goal, 5:01, unassisted by Alec Martone across the middle. His third goal in this tournament. He had 2 yesterday, 1 an empty netter that sealed the deal for the Gamecocks. Now we are tied once again, 14:40 to go in regulation. Up loose and trapped along the near post by Lombardi. It goes on behind, taken by the Gamecocks as they look to get it out here. Ian Schneider fighting for it alongside Ryan Bray. They continue to fight for it. Now back up top, played on down. Aaron Phillips goes over to Dan Fendius, who looks around and finds over to the far side. No angle shot. Lombardi protecting it. Blocks it with a pad into the near post and then into the far boards. Now clear towards center. Taken here for a moment. Aaron Phillips plays it on back. This is Drew Holcomb with it. On along Bobby Van Duzen, now past the blue line they go. Fighting for it is Nick Nardslicko as both teams will change lines. Nardslicko brings out 14 minutes to go here. 4-4, Gamecocks, Georgia. Both of these teams fighting for the championship game. Who is going to the box here? Someone called for a penalty.
Georgia's going to, we saw Lombardi moving fast off the ice. Not really sure what the penalty call is. This is big for the Gamecocks now. They have the momentum back on their side. You saw the energy and how much the players were getting excited there after that goal. So now big opportunity here on the Gamecock side to get a goal. Cross-checking was the penalty, but if you're also the Gamecocks, you got to be wary of these Gamecock players as they scored a shorthanded goal. So you got to play smart here and not get too overconfident in your power play, even though it has been very dangerous.
And that penalty called against, and Jacob Tengi, meanwhile, is skating off here to the locker room. So Tengi's day is done, holding his right arm and not looking too happy here.
It looks almost just like Catrone was when he was going off the ice as well. Hopefully he's going to be okay. But
yeah, Kevin Catrone already hurt and not here with the team this tournament. He was hurt during the Life University Series last week. Tengi gets an ovation from the Gamecock faithful on his way to the locker room, and we wish him well in whatever recovery may be in his future. Alec Martone drifts in quickly here. The penalty was charged to Dan Fendius. Gamecocks on the power play. They are 1 for 4 on the power play today. 1 for 3, excuse me. This is the 4th Georgia penalty of the day. Sean Davis drifting in here. Davis, a quick shot. It was blocked very nicely by B.J. Herr, and Georgia will clear it down. 20 seconds gone in the power play. 13:39 to go in regulation. Bobby Lombardi works his way around. A separated shoulder is officially the prognosis of, the diagnosis, I should say, of Jacob Tengi. And that's not a good sign there, but again, we wish him well. Matt Orenek from behind. Georgia will clear it down.
Yeah, Georgia right now being very disciplined and playing really well on this power play. Gamecocks not really getting any opportunities here, but they've dumped it into their own zone. And again, getting that aggressive forecheck. It's going to get them, looks like an offensive zone face-off here, and the line's going to be changed.
Georgia cleared that one up. 1:10 to go here in the period. 1:10 to go in the Gamecocks power play. 13:09 in regulation. 4-4, Gamecocks and Bulldogs. And some conversations going on between the referee and assistant captain of Georgia, Perry Holcomb, as Holcomb evidently now going to another referee to plead a case. Over there talking to the referee as well as Drew Holcomb. We are 50 seconds into the power play, and eventually Georgia, they changed the call. It will come out into the neutral zone. Whether or not that was influenced by Georgia's lobbying, we won't know. We can assume, but
sure, the Gamecock bench believes that as Sir Waugh and one of the other coaches just looking the referees their arms up. Like, what are you doing?
And coming in, Bobby Van Duzen here, dumped on around behind. Ian Schneider going after it for the Gamecocks. Caleb Santamaria wins it for Georgia and goes out. Trying to go the other way here one-on-one. This is Carter Penzine. Penzine beats Kostrebski. Quick shot. Lombardi loose in front, but thankfully for him, there were no Bulldogs waiting there. It was a Gamecock, and the Gamecocks get it out now. Hustling forward, Dave Cochran plays it on along. Caleb Santamaria tried to light him up. He leads Georgia and hits. Kyle Ware leads for the Gamecocks. As you can see there, offensive weapons doing it on both sides. And, of course, Kyle Ware, a defenseman in his own right anyway. On along here, Bobby Van Duzen. Little flick forward here. Jeffrey Kostrebski gets it, moves forward, taken down hard. I think that was more incidental than anything else. Here comes Ian Schneider. Quick shot from the lefty. It bounces in front, and it's loose. And it's taken here by Georgia. The Bulldogs try to clear. 18 seconds left in a power play for the Gamecocks. Ryan Bray hustled forward. One-timer, and it's loose. It is in the glove of Bobby Lombardi. Thought he juggled it for a second, but he eventually held on.
Yeah, but that good pressure there by the Gamecocks almost caused a mistake there and a miscue, and Schneider almost got it on goal. Good job there by Bray, just getting his glove out and nicking it away. I believe it might have gone off the post and in had he not stopped it. And once again, you see Georgia there, even on the power play, very dangerous and will break out, and got another shot on Lombardi there.
Georgia, a quick face-off shot right from inside the circle by Ryan Bray. Bobby Lombardi was ready and sticked it away. South Carolina will get it here. That should do it for the power play. Georgia very sound on this penalty kill. A few opportunities for the Gamecocks, but not by much. Overall, the shots on goal in huge favor of Georgia, 41-17 on the day. But again, the goal is 4-4. That's all that matters here as this one goes out of play and time is called.
Yeah, Brett, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the Gamecocks only had 4 shots and Bulldogs had 41. If the 4 goals go in, then it's still tied 4-4. I mean, we saw this game, the same thing sort of earlier when we were watching the Vanderbilt-Ole Miss game. Vanderbilt was out shooting them and outplaying them. At the end of the day, Ole Miss got the win, so it doesn't matter. Shots don't count. Goals do.
We watched a lot of that game between Ole Miss and Vanderbilt in the first semifinal. Quick shot. Bobby Lombardi will hold it in. That shot came from center. B.J. Herr there. But as you said,
of a shot there. I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry about that, Brett. I mean, you have to worry about that. If that rocket of a shot goes through from there, you have to realize that these Georgia players almost like Steph Curry range, if you want to call it that, from way out here, and actually tested Bobby Lombardi just a little bit.
We also watched some of Georgia's quarterfinal game against Auburn last night, and these Ice Dogs, they have rockets from all over the ice, so certainly be watching for them. And this is taken by Nick Pizzo along for a moment. He is jammed hard into the boards there, right almost into the Georgia bench by Lucas Warner. Alex Kranis comes forward. Given what has happened on the benches, I don't think either team is welcome on the other team's bench. And coming forward here, this is Cam Gilmore behind the net. Works his way up, plays it on down the boards, going after it. Nick Nard-Slicko here. Gamecock coaches wanted an icing call. They weren't going to get one. Comes up past the referee, controlled at center by Parker Sutton. He flicks it on down. Gamecocks hustle after it. They will try a short line change. 11 minutes to go here, 4-4 between the Gamecocks and Ice Dogs. 42-17 the favor of Georgia in shots. An even game in goals. Ian Schneider battling for it alongside Drew Holcomb. Along the red line, taken out by Carey. He sends it over toward the Georgia bench. Coming out here, hustling 2-on-2. Carey quickly back in it. Penzi a quick shot, and Bobby Lombardi traps it in and holds right here for the save.
Lots of chippiness going on. You see Snyder there talking to one of the Gamecock players. Both players sort of going back and forth there. And this game, I believe, is going to start getting a lot more chippier as we go along with the stakes that we're in. 4-4 in the third period with 10:43 left. Stakes are getting higher, and you got to wonder. I think the game changer of this game is going to be which team is more disciplined, because one mistake and on go on a power play, and one team will score a goal. And the way these goaltenders are playing, that one goal could win the game.
Do have that feeling. Maybe the next goal will win. Alec Bartone comes in, and Georgia will eventually win it here. Of course, on the same token, we see how quickly these teams can respond and score goals to one another, so you just never know. A quick shot will go high and wide off the stick of Aaron Phillips. Gamecocks send it on down towards center. It pops up in the air. Glove down here by the Gamecocks as they drift on forward. Offside they are. However, as Devin Ergo is called for that with 10:15.
I think one of the things we have to pay attention to is with Tanguy going off, how Coach Serwa is going to sort of adjust his roster. Maybe he's going to move up, try to move a defenseman up into a wing. We've seen that. Drummond's played it before. Kranis has played center and defenseman, so you've seen him experiment with lineups before. That could actually come in handy now. Interesting to see who replaces Tanguy in that line.
Yeah, Drummond, somebody who not seen on the ice tonight. Coming forward here, Gamecocks take it, trying to cross the blue line here with it. This is Sean Davis, loses it for a moment. Christopher Santa Maria right back to Davis. Davis from behind, tried to play it in front. He had nobody there. And it was gloved as it was sticked aside by Jesse Suave. On behind the net they go. Georgia will bring it out off the bench. Cole Judd spins around, going on back down. Taken by Georgia behind the net, now coming on out. And this is Austin Krusko with it here. Krusko, here's Sean Davis, drifts in for a moment, now back up in front of the net, taken by Georgia. Sending on along a nice through pass, a little bit far maybe, but Christopher Santa Maria on top of it, and better stick work by Dave Cochran as he plucks it on along and takes it back for South Carolina. Around the boards they go after a hard check was missed on. Now taken from behind, Davis lost his stick. Now Jeffrey Kostrevsky slammed in from behind. Whistles are called, and this will be a penalty on that check. In fact, Bobby Lombardi hustling off. The Gamecocks will go to their 5th power play of the day.
Santa Maria knew it as soon as he went off. That's what I talked about, Brett. The undisciplined, that was an unnecessary play. Santa Maria just went up and straight slashed the stick out of the Gamecock player for no reason. There was no point in it at all. The puck was already gone way up the ice, and you have to wonder if maybe these checks and this chippiness that the Gamecock brings is starting to unnerve the Gamecocks a little bit, getting them out of their game and causing these frustrations and simple penalties that should by no means have been done.
2 penalties called in this period, both against Georgia. Each team now with 5 penalties committed on the day. An even game in everything except shots, essentially. Seen a little bit of everything tonight. And South Carolina again 1 for 4 on the power play, trying to cash in here and take the lead back. Devin Ergo with it here across the blue line. Slides to the right. It's kept in here by Ian Schneider. Schneider hesitates. He's got a man in front. It was blocked by B.J. Herr, kicking it aside. Devin Ergo now behind, trying to wrap around in front. He's got Orenik and Ware at the point as usual. Ergo hesitates, now fires it down. He's got Schneider waiting in front. Now on behind, taking it out. Matt Orenik at the point. Orenik drifts in, quicks in. He's looking for a deflection and hit off a Georgia Bulldog instead. Kept in barely by Kyle Ware. Georgia thought it was out. It was not, says the near referee. So the Gamecocks dump back in. 1:19 to go in the power play. Sent on back up top to Orenik and right back down to Alec Martone. Martone along the red line, played up in the middle. Now it's taken here by Georgia. A wind and a fire, and they go down. Georgia will get fresh legs on the ice with 8:30 to go in regulation and 1:05 left in the Gamecocks power play. Alec Martone spins around. It's stolen here by Eric Moggy. Moggy drifts in. Moggy spins around. He's trying to kill some time. Does a full 360, goes all the way back. Now sends it over toward his own bench, and it's taken here and dumped around by Drew Holcomb. Holcomb continues to stall. Taken here for a moment by the Carolina, but then it will send on down. Bobby Lombardi has it here, clears it all the way to center, but the Gamecocks still can't get possession back. Stolen by Perry Holcomb. He sends it all the way back down 39 seconds ago, and the Gamecocks have had nothing for the last 25 seconds of their power play. Gamecocks now bringing it out from behind the red line. Sent on to center. Knocked down by Parker Sutton and controlled. 2-on-2. Here come the Gamecocks. Now they have numbers back. 5-on-4 as usual. Setting up the offense. Now up top. Losing it for a moment. Now controlling it, Dave Cochran. Cochran plays it on. Bouncing in front. Loose in front. Parker Sutton gloves it down. Quick shot. And it got blocked in front. Very nice job by Perry Holcomb diving down and kind of kicking it off to the side. 10 seconds left in the power play. That ought to do it as Georgia will clear. Georgia will change lines, I should say. South Carolina brings it out. 3, 2, 1 second. And now out of the box comes Caleb Santamaria. We are back to even strength. 7:23 to go. Georgia, phenomenal job on that penalty kill.
Yeah, great job there by Georgia shutting everything down. There wasn't even a shot on goal, although that one was a good opportunity, and one of the Georgia players just came down and blocked it. But once again, like I said, no shots on goal on a 2-minute power play.
And now moving forward, a big check there. Caleb Santamaria came right out of the box and went back up to his old tricks. Absolutely laid out Alec Martone and now gets off the ice. South Carolina will control behind the red line and come out.
Yeah, Brett, it's almost like a battle of number 9s. We saw after the second period, Kyle Ware had 7 hits and Santamaria had 6. So these two guys sort of laying the lumber and bringing all the power for the team.
And a whistle hung behind. See what happens here. Will it be another penalty against Georgia? B.J. Herr heading to the box here, and South Carolina right back on the man advantage.
And, Brett, what we're going to have to realize here, what I talked about before, is the fatigue. Georgia and South Carolina both played a game already, but these checks are slowly, I believe, have started wearing on these Georgia skaters, and now being the man down, you have to work so much harder and have to exert so much more energy, and you have to think that with 6:45 to left, this fatigue's going to start being a factor, and see if the Gamecocks can capitalize on it.
Mike Borst coming out with it here. Georgia will win it, though. Barely kept in by Orenik. Now here come the Gamecocks. A little spin move right back. A couple of Bulldogs getting to it. It's Perry Holcomb. Tried to check him, did Borst. Holcomb will eventually clear it down. Georgia's last penalty kill was phenomenal, but they've only been off of it for roughly 30 seconds before they went right back on it. 6:22 to go in regulation. A tie game between the Gamecocks and Bulldogs with a conference championship berth on the line. Winner plays Ole Miss tomorrow. It's won right back by Fendius. Quick shot goes well high into the netting. Potentially went off the stick of Kyle Ware and could create a defensive zone faceoff for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, it went off Kyle Ware's stick, meaning there's going to be a faceoff in the offensive zone there. We see a little bit of sticks and talking there between Gamecocks and Georgia players. And I believe this game's going to get a lot more chippy as we go here. 4-4 games, 6-11 left. This is where you want. This is what you want all year. You've waited for this right here. Chance to get into the SECHC championship game. Right now, that's where you got to just go as hard as you can, and we'll see which team can come out here, play harder, and win the game.
Georgia wins it, sends on around right in front. Georgia already has one shorthanded goal today. It's won here by Fendius. Big check there, lit up there. Bobby Van Duzen laying down the lumber. The Gamecocks go 2-on-2 the other way with 1:14 on the man advantage. Alex Kranis comes in, quick shot, tried to go far side, almost hit it. He had an open net, but he went too far. Kyle Ware right in front of the Gamecocks bench is harassed hard by Ryan Bray, who wins the puck right back. Bray sends it on across. Alex Carey, phenomenal passing there, and Bobby Lombardi had to stick it off to the right side. Georgia headhunting on this penalty kill has been phenomenal late in the game when they needed it the most. But on to center, here come the Gamecocks across. Alex Kranis, stolen right back, blocked up. Where's the puck? It's in the rafters and comes back down. Didn't end up hitting anything, so the play continues. 5:25 to go, 39 seconds in the power play for Carolina. Coming forward here, Bobby Van Duzen. Van Duzen hesitates, looking in front. He had a wide open Mike Borst, but Borst had to try to elevate his stick and he couldn't quite get it on the puck. Van Duzen to Borst again. Check that, this is Davis. Sean Davis, little spin move, sends it on down, gloved by Georgia, blocked up and cleared to center. Hustling forward here, everybody fighting for it. Drew Holcomb all over it for Georgia. Van Duzen fighting him for the puck with 15 seconds to go in the power play, 5 in regulation. Coming forward here, South Carolina. Moving forward, Sean Davis well open in front. No, it didn't get through the Borst. Alex Carey, phenomenal stick work there. Hard checks. What's the call here? There's a whistle. Some players didn't think there was a stoppage, but there was. There's a penalty going to be called. Let's see who it's on.
It's going to be against South Carolina on the tripping call. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but I guess the referees thought it was. I think the Georgia player sort of, not flopped, but sort of exaggerated a little bit, and the referee thought it was a tripping call there. And so big power play and big penalty kill here for the Gamecocks. Only 4:44 left, so I wouldn't be surprised if this next goal won the game. And if Georgia is able to cash in here, it's going to leave Gamecocks with precious time to try to come back and tie this up once again.
No 4-on-4 play has ended up being that the penalty on her expired right before the penalty was called on Davis. So 5-on-4 for Georgia. Quick wind and a fire. It was open in front. They had men in front, but the puck got deflected off to the side. Up top, Herr winds and no, he sends it on down the boards. This is Ryan Bray. Feeds one of his teammates. This is his teammate Steven. Up in front, loose in front, and then sent off to the side. Caleb Santamaria on the red line, far side, 4:23 to go. Steven Bray up top. Check that. That was Ryan Bray. Now to Steven Bray. Now back down to Ryan. Ryan back to Steven at the point. Hesitates for a moment, now back to Ryan Bray in the face-off circle, looking in front and bounce off a Gamecock stick. Now Steven Bray, kind of a loose pass over to Ryan Bray, up on top now, swinging over to her. Now back down, Caleb Santamaria, quick shot. He was looking for a hat trick, it went above the cage. Steven Bray, now to her, now back down to Ryan Bray. Ryan Bray up top, her a one-timer, it went wide of the cage, wide left. Caleb Santamaria corrals, 1:09 in the power play. On across, he had Steven Bray wide open on the far side and missed him. Ergo has no stick. That's a big mishap for the Gamecocks. Quick shot. Bobby Lombardi gloves it off to the left side. Here comes Ryan Bray up top, waiting for the one-timer and firing in. Misses out on the far side. Ryan Bray trying to back in. It was loose. Kicked aside by the stickless Devin Ergo. Ryan Bray here with it. 49 seconds to go in the power play. On across. Taking Caleb Santamaria. Tries to flick it. It's loose in front. And it's under Bobby Lombardi. No, it's still loose. Pile up in front of the net. Everybody on the ice. And I guess the puck's got to be frozen at this point.
You can see the desperation here by the Gamecocks. They are realizing how big this is as well, and they have risen up to the task. As Lombardi and a couple of Gamecock players just fell over the puck. Great hustle there by the Gamecocks. Slowly getting up, not really sure what's going on here. Maybe there's a Georgia player in there too, so the referees are trying to slowly get things up so nothing else gets out of hand. But great hustle there. 2 Gamecock players. Ergo, without a stick, slides across and prevents the pass or a scoring opportunity for Georgia. And then Lombardi and 2 Gamecock players just sprawl on the ice there to stop any rebound opportunity or goal. And you got to love this energy and effort the Gamecocks are putting out there right now.
And Devin Ergo did everything he had to do right there. We've seen him sacrifice his body with a stick. He was doing it without a stick there. Georgia, so many good opportunities. The Gamecocks there, or Georgia just barely missed on a few of their passes.
And Brett, I think I may have finally figured out why South Carolina gets all the momentum. Actually, we're going to have a penalty here against the Gamecocks. Nardslicko now. Wow, this is not good for the Gamecocks. About to be on a 5-on-3 for 44 seconds. I'm not really sure what the call is here, but this is really bad for the Gamecocks. This is definitely not what you need right here. So very dangerous for this Georgia team with all those snipers they have. I wouldn't be surprised if they throw 5 forwards on the ice with this 5-on-3.
Or anticipating a roughing. It's called against Nardslicko, and that is in fact a call. A roughing on Nardslicko, and could not come at a worse time for the Gamecocks. Now having to go down 2 men for 44 seconds with 3:27 to go in regulation, and you add all that up a full 2 minutes now, where the Gamecocks are going to have to go man down on some level. 3:27 to go in regulation, so you're looking at not much time. The Gamecocks may be at even strength the rest of the game. 5-on-3, big face-off won here by Georgia. South Carolina tries to get a stick to it. They eventually do, but can't clear it. Taken here for a moment, drifting in. Georgia sends it on across. On back right top, quick shot. Lombardi is loose in front. They continue to poke check. Lombardi ends up on top of it and holds.
Yeah, Gamecocks here need to be really careful. They just have to do everything they can. We've seen this throughout the whole entire season, that sort of New York Rangers style of play where they've been willing to put their body, anything they can on the line. We've seen a player throw a stick one time as well during the season. So Gamecocks know how big this is, and right now, if you're Georgia, you're just trying to put it back in the net with only 3:15 left to go.
3:15, won by Perry Holcomb in Georgia. Holcomb drifts back toward the blue line, on across. Taken here, right back from Penzine, back and forth with Holcomb. Penzine again, hesitates, goes over, thought about the one-timer, did Holcomb, he said he leaves it down along the red line. Quick shot comes in from no angle. Lombardi on top of it once again. 18 seconds still to go on the 5-on-3 for Georgia and 3:01 in regulation.
And I think one of the things that might be hurting Georgia right now is they're waiting a little too long. They're trying so hard to get the right shot, but at the same time, when you're on a 5-on-3, you can put 2, even 3 guys in front of the net and try to get a rebound opportunity. I feel like if you're Georgia, you've got to just throw the shots on the net. Worst comes to worst, it goes out of the zone. You can regroup again because there's going to be no pressure from South Carolina with 2 men down.
Face-off will come to the right side of Lombardi. 18 more seconds of a 5-on-3, but the Gamecocks will still be man down. Another face-off win for Georgia. They have been clutch in this regard throughout the third period and really the game. Georgia back up top. Penzine drifts in. Quick shot. It's still loose in front. Everybody loose in front, and they score. Carter Penzine picked up his own rebound, and he beats Bobby Lombardi with 2:49 to go in regulation. The 5-on-3 comes back to hurt South Carolina big time.
Yeah, South Carolina, they look so demoralized. You have to feel like this could be it. That means it's going to be still, they're going to be 5-on-3, now 5-on-4 for 1:22. Lombardi, he has not moved from his position, finally getting up. And you have to feel like right now a lot of life and energy has been sucked out of South Carolina. They're going to have to get up on their horse and get moving again. There's still 2:49 left to go in this game. So if you're the Gamecocks, their heads are hung low. They need to get them back up and keep on moving because this game is certainly not over. As we've seen before when they played against Charlotte, Miller scored a goal with 8 seconds left, and they came back before in several other games where they've scored late. So they definitely don't need to hang their head right now, but it's going to be hard being down a man with 1:20 left in the penalty kill.
You have another 1:20 here. South Carolina will eventually win the face-off at center ice. Jeffrey Kostrebski looking for Mike Borst. We'll keep an eye on Bobby Lombardi. He obviously cannot go until South Carolina gets it to even strength. Caleb Santamaria coming hard across center. Santamaria drifts in, loose in front of Lombardi. He will eventually just grab his glove on it and hold as Santamaria, a phenomenal pass from up the way from his Bulldog teammate. He went toward the net. He wanted more.
Yeah, he's so fast. You saw him just flying through. Reminds you of sort of Clifford or Katz from Florida. Just flew through, sort of shoved the defender right off him like it was nothing, and then got it on Lombardi. Good job by Lombardi there just to stay with it and not get fooled by the moves.
Face-off will come to the left side of Lombardi. Sent on down. On across. Georgia trying to bring it out. It's taken here by South Carolina. The Gamecocks trying to break out across center. Moving forward here, hard check there, lay it on from laid on to Ian Schneider by Drew Holcomb. The Bulldogs coming across on the far side. 44 seconds left in a man advantage for Georgia. 2:08 in regulation. Coming forward here, Stephen Bray, quick shot. It got through Dave Cochran's legs, but it went wide right of the cage. 34 seconds left in the power play for Georgia. On up top, loose in front. Fendius, quick shot, tried to elevate, hit the top of the cage. Still loose. Georgia will get it up top. This is Drew Holcomb. Plays it on down. Taken hard and back up top. Ryan Bray on a cross. Back up top. This is B.J. Herr. Sends it on down to Fendius. Past Fendius now to Stephen Bray. 15 seconds left in the power play. Stephen Bray. Georgia looking for the dagger here. Can't quite get there. South Carolina will clear it out. And that should do it for the power play. Watch for Lombardi. Does he go off the ice as well? Probably the next time the Gamecocks get possession and send it offensively. 1:27 left in regulation, 5-4. Won by Van Duzen. Bobby Van Duzen hustling forward, going one-on-one with Bray. Van Duzen, no. Bray kicks it out with his left leg. 1:19 to go. Lombardi can't go yet. He probably will go the next time down the ice as Georgia changes for a bit. Bobby Van Duzen thought he had everything there, and he pretty much did. Bray was better. Georgia wins it, 1:07 to go. Lombardi thought he had a moment to go. He cannot. South Carolina will get back. Will the icing be called? It will not. South Carolina now from behind. 58 seconds to go here. South Carolina needs a goal. They trail 5-4. Winner goes to the championship game tomorrow. South Carolina plays it up. Bobby Van Dusen on across center. No, stolen by Alex Carey, who flings it back. Now here comes South Carolina. There goes Bobby Lombardi. Extra attacker on the ice for the Gamecocks. No. Lombardi thought about it for a moment, but Georgia still keeps it on their side of the ice. Now won by Holcomb. Holcomb for a moment now sends it down. 35 seconds to go. The Gamecocks really got to get an extra attacker on the ice. They play it up the boards but cannot. Kyle Ware here on a cross and off the board. Orenick had it for a moment, now played up. Georgia too good with the sticks in the offensive zone defensively. Losing his stick now, trying to just play defense with it now is Eric Moggy, still loose. Moggy has no stick, he's kicking it, he's punching it, he's doing everything he can right now. South Carolina loses it for a moment. Now 10 seconds to go, the Gamecocks, the final rush, but it's won by Georgia. They're gonna try to kill off the puck. They send it on down, this might do it. Ryan Bray a chance, hard check there by Orenick, and that, they're gonna stop it with 3.8 to go. What happened here?
Call offsides. Does that mean they're going to get an offensive zone face-off? Sir Waugh and one of the coaches are pointing down there.
The coaches for Carolina want a face-off in the offensive zone. They probably aren't going to get one. It appears that the referees are going to have a conversation. 3.8 seconds on the clock. They may need it if they have a chance here. The Gamecocks coaches continue to keep their arms in the air, pointing toward the offensive zone. Referees not hearing them. And a timeout will be called here.
Yeah, they're still discussing it with the referees, see what's going on here. Georgia got a discussion and got it down to their own end, so let's see if South Carolina can sort of push and get one down there, because they really need it down there with 3.8 seconds left to go. So still discussion going on, but right now South Carolina has to have that face-off in their offensive zone if they're going to try to get a chance on goal with only 3.8 seconds left. If it's at the current spot where they're going, then actually they're going to face-off will be moved. Not really sure it's going to get. Not really sure what's going on. There's a lot of conversation going on here, but it could be.
They're going to put it in the neutral zone, but they flipped it to the South Carolina offensive side of the ice. Face-off must be won by the Gamecocks if they have a chance. 3.8 seconds to go. Ryan Bray battles it. Brocker Sutton sends it up. It goes past a couple of players, and it will tick off as the South Carolina 8-game winning streak comes to an end. And the Georgia Ice Dogs, who have been so good at winning these kinds of games all year long, they find another way here as they win it 5-4 and advance to the SECHC Tournament Championship tomorrow, where they will face the Ole Miss Rebels.
Unfortunate there for the Gamecocks. They had it all in front of them, and then they got a little undisciplined there. Has a couple of bad penalties there at the end that led to a 5-on-3 opportunity for Georgia. And as good as Georgia's offense is, there's no way they couldn't cash in on a 5-on-3, and they finally did. Unfortunately there, because Lombardi was all over the place, and the Gamecock defense was trying so hard not to get a goal, but at the end of the day, the Georgia Bulldogs were able to come away and get the win.
Handshakes here after a very testy game between these two squads. A lot of respect. Very nice to see that this game did not get too chippy or too out of hand. That had an opportunity yesterday. There was an ejection yesterday between the Gamecocks and Gators. The Bulldogs and Gamecocks laid it all out there. South Carolina loses to Georgia this season 5-3, 5-2, and now 5-4. It's that fifth goal that does it for Georgia once again, and the Bulldogs improve to 22-2 and will go for a back-to-back conference title tomorrow.
Yeah, good play there by Georgia. At the end of the day, they were just too much and got the 5-on-3. Thought for a second their Gamecocks had all the momentum going their way after they scored that fourth goal, but unfortunately those penalties finally added up there in the end. You can tell some of the Gamecocks talking with the refs still aren't too happy about it, but at the end of the day, the referees make the final decision, and it didn't go in the Carolina's favor, and they lose 5-4.
Well, certainly one of the players of the game here today was Carter Penzine. You could pick a lot of different folks, but Penzine with the game-winning goal at 17-11 in the third period on the power play. And Penzine for the championship game-bound Bulldogs is with our Emma Mondo live. Take it away, Emma.
All right, so you guys have had a really good game so far today.
Yep.
You've been playing really good. Tell me what it was like to win that last point.
You know, it was, I don't know, I just saw it go in, and right after that I sort of blacked out, and all the guys came to me, and it was a great moment, that's for sure. Good to see it go in.
All right, so what are you looking forward to tomorrow, playing a good team like that, Ole Miss?
Yeah, hopefully tomorrow we can put together 20 minutes or 60 minutes all together and play a full game. Hopefully we can come out with a win and championship.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys up there.
Thank you, Emma and Jack, also down there helping out. We appreciate it. Carter Penzine and the Georgia Bulldogs off to the tomorrow. Gamecocks will play Vanderbilt in an earlier tilt. We will talk about that and everything you need to know from the defeat tonight. Again, Georgia 5, South Carolina 4. Your final. Come on back with us for the postgame show right after this on the Capital City Sports Network.
Hi, welcome to the Buzz on Talk of the Town.
What's going on, Carolina? Welcome to this edition of Gamecock to the Movies.
We are here for round 6 of Hammered with Questions.
I do not think a man who tweets like a 12-year-old should be president.
What is up, my Twitter?
Good day, Ronaldo or this guy? Who's going to be?
This guy.
Yeah!
Oh my God.
We're gonna go through the Hall of Horrors. I'm terrified.
The Justin Bieber Christmas album is the best Christmas album ever. We ain't never getting older. So who picked out your outfit, your mom or your dad?
Super Nukem Power Teenage Wasteland, whatever.
Oh, got your ass!
God forbid you're alone on Valentine's Day. Like, I just want my chocolate and a bottle of wine.
I end up watching Hallmark and Lifetime movies with my dad.
High Wire Ice is a state-of-the-art extreme trampoline park featuring a 20,000 square foot continuous jumping field and Olympic-sized foam pits with over 90,000 cubes of foam. Your heart will be pumping as you try to slay Mac the Dragon, one of the largest ninja obstacle courses in the U.S. The Dragon features a Cirque du Soleil trapeze bar, multiple silks, a rock wall, vertical climbs, slack lines, swinging bridges, and leap of faith monkey bars. It's an incredible agility course. The park also has a dodgeball arena, dunkable basketball hoops above trampolines, and a designated kiddie jump area with foam pits. Plus, there's a designated birthday party area, as well as a mezzanine for parents to watch their children jump down below. And don't forget, High Wire will be the place to be for Flight Night, Friday and Saturday nights from 6 to 10 p.m., featuring state-of-the-art boom sound, black lights, and lasers that will beat to the music. It's $20 per person for unlimited jumping and ice skating starting at 6. All located at Plex Indoor Sports in Irmo, the home of Gamecock hockey. High Wire. Fly high. Welcome back to the Fordyce Center, everybody. Brett Williams and Robert McCachren here with you in your post-game show. South Carolina falls to Georgia tonight, an epic battle. The final score of 5-4. The game-winning goal scored by the Bulldogs, Carter Penzine, with just about 3 minutes left in regulation on the 5-3. That power play too much on Georgia's end for the Gamecocks to overcome, and eventually does it. But really for Georgia, the whole third period was just dominant. I mean, Georgia went on several penalty kills early in the third period. They had 2 penalties right off the bat in the third period, but really the Gamecocks, very few opportunities on those power plays, and you could just feel that discipline of Georgia was going to win it for them in the end.
You definitely did. You know, Georgia was undisciplined sometimes too. The slash we saw by Santeria for no reason, but really, like I said, it was all going to come down to composure and who was more disciplined. And right there at the end, Slicko just got a punch in a guy, and you can't do that. And it was unnecessary. The play was stopped. You're already down a man. You can't do that. I mean, that's really not. I mean, you know how good Georgia is attacking and being down 2 men. You just knew at some point that Georgia was probably going to break through.
And South Carolina's offense had a few opportunities as well, certainly not as many as Georgia did. The full final shot on goal count, an unbelievable 60-19 in favor of the Ice Dogs, and so very hard to overcome that. The Gamecocks did about everything they possibly could to stop that, but eventually it was too much for Georgia. Bobby Van Dusen, a late opportunity for the Gamecocks, and though he wasn't able to beat Andrew Bray there, he can't fault him really, because a lot of good opportunities and a good goal by Van Dusen earlier off a rebound bounce off the boards.
Yeah, he was getting harassed by Georgia's defender. You got to give credit to that Georgia's defender sometimes in that situation. You know, get your stick up and you get caught in there, you get called for a hook, and that could have been a potential penalty shot. So that's good composure and discipline there. We've seen, the coach for the Georgia Bulldogs was a former ECHL head coach that led a good team, so I'm sure he instills discipline just the same way you do it at the professional level. So I guess credit the Georgia coach there as well for just keeping these guys composed and telling them, we got to calm down and not let this get to our heads.
Yeah, Coach Rick Emmett also named SECHC Coach of the Year today, so tons of accolades, and why not for the Ice Dogs, who improved to 22-2, still 11-0 in the SECHC, and they will face Ole Miss tomorrow afternoon in the conference championship game. They will try to repeat, as Georgia had a phenomenal run to win the SECHC last year and have never lost a step since, so we wish them well. As for the Gamecocks, an earlier game tomorrow, 11 a.m. local time, 12 o'clock noon for all of you viewers back home in South Carolina and along the East Coast. So Carolina, a late night tonight. They got to turn around, come back tomorrow morning, and play the home team, Vanderbilt. Now, the Commodores had so much offense going, they could not beat Joe Warnicki. They got one goal in late today against Ole Miss, but overall, so many opportunities that just didn't go. Gamecocks and Vanderbilt split earlier this season here at the Ford Ice Center back in September. What do you make for the Gamecocks turning around, a quick note, and trying to face the Commodores?
I think it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, Vanderbilt and South Carolina both played their hearts out to try to get this championship game, and unfortunately they both fell short. So it's going to be interesting to see which team comes out. I mean, I don't want to say the teams aren't going to care, but when you put so much energy and effort into this game and come up short, almost heartbreaking here for the Gamecocks at the end, and Vanderbilt, they had several opportunities couldn't get it through on a better team. They were the better team, but just couldn't get any shots to go through the goalkeeper for Ole Miss. So I definitely just think it's going to be interesting to see who actually comes out to play and show up tomorrow, because both teams are on a down, and trying to see them come back and play on a third game, like you said, on a short turnaround. It'll be interesting to see who just comes out and plays.
Consolation games always heartbreaking for any team that participates in them. South Carolina perhaps a bit more at stake because they are at 6th in the ACHA regional standings. The Life University wins were after that, for the last rankings came out. Obviously, yesterday's win against Florida. South Carolina will be going to regionals. We know that. The question is of seeding, and so they could fall off, losing to Vanderbilt tomorrow, maybe a little bit down, have a harder game in Orlando. Vanderbilt not eligible for the ACHA playoffs this year, so they don't have anything to play for in that regard tomorrow, unless they have another game, might be the end of their season. Not really sure on that, but we will see. Your Swamp Cabbage Brewing Company, what's on tap? Very simple. As we said, tomorrow will be the Gamecocks against Vanderbilt, 11 a.m. Central and noon on the East Coast. Then, of course, next Saturday night, the Gamecocks, a bonus, almost exhibition game on steroids is what I called it on the last broadcast. That's what it will be as the Gamecocks face the Clemson Tigers next Saturday night from the Plex at a time to be determined. We're not exactly sure what time that will start, but we'll let you know. And then off to regionals in Wesley Chapel, Florida from there. Swamp Cabbage Brewing Company, what's on tap? Swamp Cabbage, a proud sponsor of Gamecock Hockey. Phenomenal game here tonight. Georgia ends up the victor over the Gamecocks, 5-4, your final. We appreciate everybody on our crew, as always. Jack Taylor and Emma Mondo on the sideline. Jack also up here as well. John Dowdy producing, Austin Porter, Claudia Chikamian, and John Manigo running camera. Thank you all so much for a wonderful broadcast, as always. Robert, one more game in Nashville. Let's do it again tomorrow, my friend, all right?
Let's do it. It's not Nashville, it's Smashville.
It is Smashville.
We see the Gamecocks, see if they come out hitting hard tomorrow as well.
Yeah, it's been their MO for a while, so we'll see what happens between the Gamecocks and Commodores tomorrow. Thanks again for being with us tonight on the road in Antioch. We look forward to seeing you earlier tomorrow for one more game here on the road. Thanks so much for being with us. Carolina loses it tonight 5-4 to Georgia. For Robert McCachren, I'm Brett Williams saying good night and forever to thee, Carolina.